Okay, so
boats and hoes.
Yeah, me and Lewis got that. We haven't had this for a long time, man. It's aged well. It's the Christian Brothers brandy with Pepsi Zero. I forgot. I'm gonna move for Christian boys. So.
Can I have a little of that? Is this clean? It doesn't look clean.
Salud. The glass.
Everyone.
The
other
glass might be. Just put it in my empty.
The glass was clean before someone put a roll in there.
Oh, this one. One's my Dutch cup.
Was clean.
Cup.
Yeah.
Can you fill my empty Seagram?
There you go.
Do you want some Pepsi? What?
I think I just want a little shot. If it's straight, I'll sip it slower.
Susan, how's your which one's that? Okay. Strawberry daiquiri.
Yep.
All right. So if I hear any giggling out of nowhere, we know why.
Yeah.
That explains it. Oh, Willis is feeling giggly.
I was already giggly. I saw it in the car.
Yeah. So it's funny, Susan. Like we just had like our four-legged friend down here. You know,
yeah.
And you think that animal has loyalty and stuff, and he cares about you, but you missed it on the podcast where it wasn't too long ago. Like I've told stories about taking a shower with the dog is easier. So we finally had me and Selena's first time. Like we brought an animal into the shower with us.
We had our communal shower.
So
you brought. It made us all closer. My baby. I think Rue's a little traumatized from it. Into the shower with you and your girlfriend.
Firstly, he was looking at her kind of funny, and like he kind of was hesitating.
Because he's never seen a female body that was naked before. Yeah. Rue kind of had that face like, "Are we really gonna do this, guys?"
He's looking at me. He's like, "Chris, are we doing this?" I'm like, "We're doing this." Because he's like,
I have to ask. Whose balls are bigger, Chris's or the dog's? Well, it's pretty close. Actually, Chris. This is
exactly why I said I put my drink down.
Whose was bigger, the dog or Chris? I'm gonna give it a tie. I'm gonna give it a tie, but Chris beats it by like. Hi, Nance.
Barely.
Yeah. How are you?
Like urethra. I don't know.
Yeah. So but no, it was funny. So like at one point, because we get the dog and we're trying to get him wet and stuff. So Selena's sitting down, and so at one point I was like, "Well, spread your legs." And she's like, "Hey, wait, what?" I'm like, "Well, no, spread your legs so you can just have him sit in your lap so the water hits the dog." I don't remember
that. I must have blocked that out from my memory.
Especially when you said to get him wet part, I'm like, huh?
Yeah. So
what were you doing to her to make him get wet?
Huh?
Oh my God! With the details, you're just giving the dog a shower.
Yeah. The best part too was like when we got friggin' done. So of course I wear boxers because when I'm done bathing the dog, I want to bring him outside and I don't want to walk around the house fucking naked. So it's like we friggin' drop him and he's just running around the whole goddamn house like a maniac and digging his head into the pillows and the blankets. He's growling. He's trying to get the stink of like goodness off him and shit.
Of course he does, because to him he doesn't smell good when he's clean. He thinks he smells like $1,000,000 when he's rolling his own shit.
Yeah.
You're like, this Old Spice smell like shit.
Yeah.
This Old Spice smells like shit. I need to put shit on me to get rid of this Old Spice.
So
Old Spice smells like shit to begin with. So I know, I don't really like it either. I mean, there's certain ones I can't remember.
Yeah. Well, we had the dog shampoo, but I kept thinking to myself, like, Susan's like, this dog loves me and he's loyal to me. Like, no, that dog's a whore.
I mean, he is, but
he has no loyalty.
That little bastard. So, God.
Yeah.
Sunday night, I'm laying in bed. I'm fine. Going to sleep. Everything's good.
Petting a dog.
No.
Oh.
I'm fine. I'm about to go to sleep. 2:45 in the morning.
Should probably move your mic close too.
2:45 in the morning. I'm have the fat cat sleeping beside me.
As always.
Because, for some reason that cat's up my ass. And all of a sudden I hear on constant.
Yeah.
I'm like, go away. It was Rue being jealous. Go away. Then I feel paws digging into my ass because he sees the fucking cat.
Yep.
On the opposite side of me. And then I'm like, what? So I get up. I go, let him out. He runs around the yard. He takes a poop, pees on half the shit that's out there. And then he doesn't want to come back in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you little fucker, you're going back in. Let's go. 3:15, we're back in the house. Everything's fine. Tell your mom about it. Your mom's like, well, I let him out at 4 a.m. He did the exact same thing. And I'm like,
that's why I want to have a dog.
You little fucking asshole. I mean, I wish I could have a dog, but I'm not home as much to. But here's the problem. Take care of it. Because he did that the on Sunday, Monday night, same thing, but I didn't get up. I'm like, no, I'm not getting up. This isn't becoming like a normal thing. We're not getting up at 2 a.m. so I can run outside with you so you can run around the backyard like a lunatic.
Yeah.
So he takes off. Tuesday night, he comes back. Go away, Ruluru!
She does that noise so well.
I wanted to kill him. But luckily, he's left me alone since.
It was funny. I was waiting for Salena to come back because last episode you were still at work and Salena was busy at her house.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, I can't control people's times. It's, everyone's got different work. Carlton had 3 hours beer. He had to go home. But by the time you got to work, he would have been home already. It's like,
no, by the time I got out of work, Carlton was here.
Yeah, but that was after us doing 3 hours, though. It's like after that, he went right home. It's
but did you guys really need to do like a 3-hour podcast?
Well, if we didn't, Carlton would have left.
Oh, I thought it was longer than that. For a second, I thought you were talking about our one-on-one podcast.
No,
I forgot that you guys already did episodes after that.
I think I was sitting over there, and I didn't even realize that she was behind me until I saw the door come through. I was like, "Hey, little buddy, what's up?"
But no, because Salena wasn't here.
Hey, Sue.
Because Salena wasn't here, but Lewis was here. So I wanted to mention, like, after we had to kill some extra time, so we did the whole on Carlton, Lewis, and Tev about the whole me and her killing an hour and a half with the whole questionnaire thing. But what's funny was the aftermath of that, because so I showed Salena how I edit the podcast, how I do things, what the process is to upload this to Spotify and stuff. So as we're letting things upload and stuff, she wants to hear the quality of her voice and herself and to me. So at one point, we're two grown adults, we have needs and stuff. She wants to be intimate, and I'm like, but as Salena wants to be intimate, she wants to listen to the podcast we just recorded.
Oh,
so
that did happen.
Yeah, exactly, it did happen. So
well, the thing is, I forgot. I ignored it.
No, so one point I'm telling her, like,
wait, did you guys record yourselves doing it?
No.
I'm saying after we did the podcast, I wanted to listen to it.
Yes.
And while I was listening to it, I eventually, trailed off, got bored, and then wanted to make out with Chris, but I guess he couldn't, make love to the sound.
Well, it's the
sound
thing
of his own voice playing in the background.
I have trouble having sex with my girlfriend listening to my own voice on a fucking podcast.
I don't.
So yeah, exactly. So
you was trying to do slow jams to a podcast?
I don't.
No, the one that we just.
I mean, maybe I'm
the one that we just recorded. So
I didn't mind it. I didn't care.
She wanted to basically put her hand over my mouth and listen to herself talk as she's fucking me. So, and now while this happened, I wish Elliot was here. So as I'm having sex with Salena, I started thinking about Elliot. Because why wouldn't I? And
What
the hell?
I'm offended.
Because how
Elliot. You are Chris's imaginary girlfriend.
Because I was thinking how Elliot was saying, like, Silence of the Lambs, like, you know what? I do me. So, because all I kept thinking about was, at one point, I was waiting for Salena to just turn the fucking lights off, and I wanted her to pull out her fucking phone and just her stare at pictures of herself. Like, you know what? I would fuck me, and look how goddamn hot I am and shit.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far.
It was pretty close.
Well, the thing is, I can dissociate easily and zone out easily. So,
it's a point to, for her to make love to me.
Music and stuff in the background.
For her to make love to me, she had to listen to her own voice.
The podcast content.
And she wanted me to shut up while she listened to her own voice.
Well, and your voice.
I do sound hot. Like,
to coexist with you in so many ways and levels.
I felt
Chris, I really want to do
Yeah.
I want to.
Oh God, I'm
do you while I listen to you while
I
listen
to my own voice.
God,
wear your skin.
Listen to me. Listen to me as I do you.
I have a problem
Listen to me on the podcast.
I get very obsessive and very close. Like I want to
right there.
Sometimes I want to be so close to you. I want to share a body with you and be in the same body.
Okay, I didn't hear any of the first part of that.
Me neither. I'm like,
it's healthy or anybody should do that or be like me. I'm just, I'm not saying actually don't do that.
After tonight,
no one's judging. So
after tonight, Chris is freshly single. So I let you guys know.
Good.
You're the one who brought it up.
That would have been quite an awkward situation. Yeah, I'm about to check out this podcast, new content. Wait a minute. Episode
61.
Blue Collar Losers Doggy Style. I'm gonna skip that.
Porn?
Okay, that's the thing. That's kind of like my favorite TMI sexual position. But for some reason I don't think that's Chris's.
Well, the notion I got was your first time you've been naked with a dog, so that's how we started out.
Well, yeah. What's your favorite sexual position, though, Chris?
We're not getting into this. No,
you want to talk about
not with Susan
how
here.
I'm covering your mouth. You want to talk about our
You told me about the time
moments,
you did
but
anal.
you can't even. You did anal, Chris? That's why you always want me to play with your booty. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I mean, the male prostate, like, you know. I told her
he wasn't getting pegged. He was pegging someone else.
Yeah, but
was it like accidental and
like,
you realized?
I said all the time. Earlier, before I went to work, Salena, we sat down and she did give me a back massage, which felt good. But I said, a lot of times to get the right pressure, sit on me so she can sit on my back and my butt. She goes, you have a really big bubble butt, and I'm like, listen, I have a fantastic prison ass. Okay, like many guys love this ass. Like, what do you want me to do? Like,
I know he's not gonna remember this, but there was this one time we were at fucking Goodwill, and like he put on a freaking pair of jeans, and he's like, I have a really nice ass in these jeans, don't I, Susan? And I'm like, I'm your cousin. I'm not looking. And then he walks up to one of the other girls, and he's like, I have a really nice ass in these jeans, don't I? And they're
you
like,
said that to a stranger?
I probably did.
Not a stranger, one of the girls we worked with.
Oh, okay. At least you knew her. That would be weird if it was a stranger.
Anyway.
And it's like, dude.
Wow.
I said, I'm just,
like sexual harassment.
I'm just waiting for next time. I'm just waiting for next time, like, Selena's like, Chris, just turn off the fucking lights, and I see like the brightness of her phone pop up. What are you doing? Like, just looking at pictures of myself as I fuck you.
Ow!
Look how goddamn hot I am.
I try it.
That got me bumping my head and shit. That ain't funny, Chris.
So listen to the thing by Elliot and Silence of the Lambs, like, I do me. It's like Salena.
So it's like Selena's looking at pictures of herself, and you're like daydreaming about Elliot.
Listen, I need someone else to tell me what their favorite sexual position is so I don't feel so left out.
See, all I've done is missionary, so I can't.
Lies. I don't believe you for a second, Susan. Did you grow up Amish? Like,
no.
What?
No, he tried. Cover your ears, Chris.
I mean, it's gonna be. We're recording this at some point.
Stop recording.
Oh, God damn it,
dude! You guys talk about way worse shit.
We
than
really
this.
do. Yeah.
We really do. But
I've got enough Christian brothers, Christian boys inside me, so I'm good.
Okay, so
did you really say that out loud?
Father Edwards over here.
I think I blocked that out.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it.
You were saying
my son.
Deacon Susan.
Yeah, well, we at least know Chris had sex once because he had one kid. I think,
Telling you.
I mean, yeah.
So anyway,
anyhow,
you said Deacon Susan.
It's sister, by the way. If it's a nun.
So you grew up in like a nunnery?
No, I didn't.
Wow.
Oh.
No. So the only reason he and I only did that was because of the fact that every time he tried to do it the other way,
he gave like a Charlie horse.
Not that. He did not have good aim.
What?
Jesus Christ.
He did not have
dangerous.
He didn't have good aim. So like I'd think, yeah, we can do doggy, and then all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, that is not my vag, that is my ass. No. No. I told him that is an exit, that is not an entrance. Don't do that. No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I heard that saying before.
Get enough drinks in me.
That's what Matt told me too.
Mm-hmm. She met Matt.
Matt was nice. He took us to some pretty fucking awesome places.
Actually, on a side note, so like,
no, I'm sorry, but I cannot get past. So you only ever did missionary.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Interesting. Are you just scared?
Take your friend out more.
Or are you just not interested in?
It's not even the fact that I'm not interested. It's just every time he would try to do it, because I've only been with the one guy. Mm-hmm. Every time he would try to do like anything else, like I've tried. I made the statement to him. I'm like, I weigh too much at this point. I don't think like me doing like riding you is going to work. Then bent over like
Chris
that
laughs
didn't work.
because he loves that. I'm just kidding. Sorry.
She's doing this for Lewis and Al, like Susan talks.
The fuck?
Let's not veer to people outside this building, especially them.
Ew.
Lewis is like, Susan talks slower.
What?
Ew.
I wasn't even thinking like that.
Ew.
That's just interesting. Sorry.
I wasn't even thinking
I actually
like
admire that.
But every time I'm like, okay, so I definitely just have to do fucking missionary with you because we can't do anything else.
Damn.
Because of poor aim.
Yeah.
Because of poor aim.
So Lewis, you got any favorite positions or?
Don't keep it $150 with us.
A what?
I keep it 1,000.
Oh,
Jesus Christ!
keep it 1,000.
I would say probably the basics.
Missionary too? You just like missionary?
That's one of the basics, not the only.
Oh. Well, what's the other basic?
Missionary, doggy,
I wouldn't
cowgirl,
consider doggy
reverse cowgirl.
I want to
Reverse
consider
cowgirl
reverse
isn't
cowgirl
basic.
That is
That's
like
advanced.
like a
That is advanced.
I think I'm drinking too much right now. She got me laughing.
To you guys. To you
If
guys,
if it's with the right person and y'all not just comfortable enough around each other, but able to work with each other's algorithm, it can be done. It can be done.
Yeah. Well, Salena asked me this. That was part of the questionnaire. I just said with
the right aim. I mean,
well, she asked it, Chris. No, people ask what's your favorite position. I'm like, listen, the fact that a woman would even want to get naked with me, I mean, she could like fart on me. I don't go.
I'm sorry, that's so unattractive. Not the farting part. I can get past that, but the fact that like you think that nobody will want to have sex with you is such a turnoff.
Well,
women like confidence.
Yeah. Well.
You know, if you don't believe in a relationship at all with yourself, how can I believe?
And like I said, what's the difference between confidence and arrogance?
One is sure of yourself, the other overestimates that certainty.
Yeah.
I don't mind arrogance.
Overinflated ego, aka.
Yeah. I mean,
when you're confident and you can look at her and you can be like, you're going home with me tonight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You are the most beautiful woman in here. You are going home with me tonight.
Mm-hmm.
It's also bad history, because people should never ask the question, but they do. But I say it to Salena out of 100% honesty and sincerity. If she ever would say, Chris, how do I rank? I always say 10 out of 10, you're the fucking best. But and sometimes with exes, guys shouldn't ask this question, but sometimes we fucking do. How am I? You kind of please me, or you're not that good, or I've had way better than you. So when you hear that your entire life, it's hard to have confidence when every girl you've been with is so my ex, made me come 10 times harder than you ever fucking did, or my past 3 boyfriends were way fucking bigger than you, or and every girl you fucking date. And you never want to ask them questions, but sometimes you wind up doing it because it's, I'm not saying I want to be the fucking best, but am I good at pleasing you? Right. Kind of, maybe, or just said, I've never been complimented on my sex life. It just happened. So it's so when you grow up, when you're turning fucking 40 and you've been sexually active since you're 15, 16 for 20 some odd years, when every girl you're with is you're not that good, how do you have confidence then? Wow,
I did not know that.
But if every girl you've been with says you're the fucking best, of course you're going to have an ego, because every girl you've been with says you're the fucking best. If every girl you've been with says you're not that good, it's kind of hard to have confidence, you know what I mean? And Susan and Salena know this. As 2 good-looking women, sometimes you guys don't think you're good-looking. I mean, me and Lewis recognize that. But, if your entire life, if all you've been told is you're fat and ugly, you're fat and ugly, you're fat and ugly, yes, people always say this thing. We talked about this podcast a million times, that, at some point you do need to have some self-image. But still, nobody wants to hop on fucking Facebook or Instagram or fucking Twitter and be called fucking fat and ugly. Everybody at some point, if you put makeup on, if you wear some skimpy clothes, you want people to fucking compliment you. When you get 10,000 comments, you're fucking fat and ugly, at some point you can have all the self-confidence in the world. It still hurts your fucking feelings. Right. Versus 10,000 people are like, you're goddamn beautiful. It makes you feel better. So I've always said this to Salena, and Susan knows this. I've had previous girlfriends ask Susan, why is your cousin this down on himself for? And she's like, well, he's had a pretty fucked up life. That's why. Now guys like Lewis, Big Al, Matt, even Carlton's Chris, you're a good looking fucking guy. When you're my own mother, it's because I want to suck your dick. Well, if mom wants to suck my dick, that's
not
an
your
issue.
mother.
Oh my god!
Please don't say that.
That's what I'm saying. That's an issue.
Not your mother. I meant the guys.
Yeah.
No, I do not.
Come on, Lou.
I didn't know that.
I love tacos too much.
What I'm saying is no, of course.
Try the burrito.
Your mother always says you're good looking.
I'm good.
Your sister say you're good looking. Your cousin, your friends and family will always say that yes, you're handsome and stuff. But the thing is, it's if Susan says, Chris, I think you're a handsome fucking guy. First, it doesn't hold the weight of say a Salena or a girl at the fucking club, And Susan been with me. How many fucking bars have we been to? Even juniors like Chris come out to me with more fucking bars, more parties, more clubs. My junior, we've been to plenty of them. None of your female friends ever give me the fucking time of day, and they say, "Oh, it's a confidence issue." Yes and fucking no, but also, I'm 5'6". Most women want the guy that's 5'10", 6 foot fucking tall, dark, and handsome. I'm not tall, dark, and handsome. Call it what it is. I'm just. And especially in the world of dating apps, I've told this before, even before meeting Salena, I had 7, 8, 9 dating apps. No one's writing me.
I never really used dating apps.
I did that. Sorry. Okay. Where you're concerned, the problem is you were Ted Mosby, and you just needed your Barney. You just needed your Barney. You needed your wingman. And when your wingman is Junior...
But Junior gets a lot more women than I get.
Enough said, Susan. Enough said.
Oh, Junior says all the time if he was here. Junior's like, Chris, I know that I'm fat. I know them fuck ugly. I do have confidence. I'm like, you do, but also it's said for me. It's always been a very hard. Like I said, when I look at Charlie Hunnam, I look at Jensen Ackles. How the fuck can I compete with that? That's just the way I feel. Like
Chris,
simple. You tell them, teach me your stuff, and I will sell you my cousin.
Oh, Chris.
Yeah.
She will go
there was
willingly.
a similar convo with my cousin Will. He said those exact words, and we was talking about girls and stuff like that. He was saying he's fat and ugly. I'm like, bro, I mean it's in a gross heterosexual way. Yeah. You're not a bad looking guy. You're not fat and ugly. But the fact you're saying that, and we look like each other, what are you trying to say about me?
But you guys look different though in different ways. But no, see, I've struggled with this my entire life. Like, you know, it's like since I was a teenager. You know, like when you're a teenager and every girl you talk to, come on, we've been through middle school, high school. When I didn't have sex until I was 18 because I was sexually active while I first was introduced to fucking porn at like 11 years old. So I was interested in. I knew what sex was at 11, you know, and 12 years old and shit.
I think everyone kind of does around that time.
Like. Some kids out there 13, 14 having sex. Right. At 14, I knew what sex was, obviously. I'm just saying, like, I did definitely... Well, I've said this on this podcast before. My very first girlfriend, I literally dated her because I'm 18 years old, been watching porn since I was 11, and you're 18-year-old boy, your hormones are going over the fucking place. Mm-hmm. At that point, I would have... like.
Do you know that your mom, like, swears up and down that you lost your virginity when you were, like, 12?
Really? That's way to fuck off. It's amazing.
She thought you were a little freaking Casanova.
No, well, we talked about this before.
You said it. Thought.
Actually, this was part of like when you would talk to Mary. Mary would say, Mary knew my high school. She goes, I thought Chris was the biggest player out there because he was always around girls. I said, no, listen, and this is a misconception. Having 1,000 female friends doesn't mean you're fucking all your female friends. Of course, I had fucking 400 or 500 female friends in high school.
Keep in mind, like now that you're older, like when all of the friends of both of your sisters come to you and they're like, I had such a huge crush on you in high school.
25 years later. But we noticed at Goodwill. Like, remember at Goodwill, there was me, Jim, and Paul. We had 95% of female staff. Yep. Most of those women, most of them were my very good friends. I wasn't fucking people at Goodwill. They were all my coworkers and shit.
Yeah, and then there were the certain ones that you were like really close to who then like over-exaggerated shit and then would try and get you in trouble, and then it's like, are you fucking kidding me?
But even like Junior on Facebook, Junior will have 1,000 fucking friends that are all female friends, but they're all his friends. They're not fucking him. So like, cause like even like Salena would say, she's like, when she would talk to Junior years ago, you think Junior's the biggest fucking player out there. He's actually not. He's got a ton of female friends.
That's why I'm saying, you're Ted Mosby. You just never found your Barney Stinson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, I 100% understand the fact that...
Have you met Chris?
There's plenty of females that said yes.
Hey, Salena. Have you met Chris?
Hi, Chris. I'm Salena.
There's plenty of... I've dealt with this...
How you doing?
That was my entire life, confidence. But I'm like, when I go to the fucking gym and I'm like, I see a little fucking belly, that dude's got a six-pack, I immediately think that, like, I can compete with this fucking guy. He's got a six-pack. How can I compete with that?
I didn't really know that about you. My problem with that is just, like, perversion. I think, like... Sex is so overly saturated in this country and constantly fed to you that like people associate like sex with like wealth at this point.
See,
and
here's
like,
the problem with it. Though,
I just disagree with that.
Is you go to certain other countries and like sex is normalized more if you think about it, like more in the sense of it happens, get over it, it's not a big deal. Here it's normal, but it's also controversial.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Well, other countries have nude beaches. They have their...
Not even just that. Like, there was someone I went to school with years ago. They made the statement. They're like, if you go to, like, say, Japan, you will literally see, like, billboards where it's like the parents are, like, having sex on the couch when the kids are sitting in front of them watching TV.
Yeah.
That's fucked.
Well, remember,
because that's
like way worse over there.
It's like that's how normalized it is.
Yeah, there really is. Actually, no, sex shops in other countries are. It's like how we go.
Because that's what sells. That's how they make their money.
How we go to corner stores is how they go to sex shops.
Yeah.
It's just like it's our country's very more conservative about shit than other countries.
There's a lot of stigmas and misunderstandings.
Like, to some degree, like it's good that we have that conservation a little bit.
Agreed.
So.
leaves room for a lot of understanding and
but it's like I try making I like Christopher Titus, like I showed Celine a couple episodes of Titus's show that I try taking my entire life, my personal trauma, and making a joke out of it. So instead of being down on myself, I just say, hey, listen, the fact that like, but part of me really is serious. The fact that even Selena, anytime Selena's like, Chris, I think you're attractive, or if any woman wants to actually get naked and have sex with me, I'm like, why? Why me for it? I really feel like, you could do so much fucking better than me. And I just, at pushing fucking 40, at this point, I'm not sure how you could even break that. How can I break that? Something that's been ingrained into your entire life.
Well, if it helps you, Chris, I think you're pretty inept for an almost 40-year-old.
But then again, she also seen the dog naked too, so.
The dog's always
Ruth's
naked.
pretty inept as well. I'm just kidding.
But as is being said, like
we could put him in his pajamas.
like the lower, like what they say, lower inept or low frequency type of people, they tend to ruin it for the ones that try to be respectful and generous on an intimate level. Like, for example, how I've said, hey, I would like for us to have some cake someday. She took it as in translation, I want to motorboat her cake someday. And I'm like, no, I'm talking about actual cake. Nothing more, nothing less. Actually just chow down, talk about her favorite TV shows, stuff like that. That's it.
I still feel like, growing older that, there are stigmas. There are like, there's nerds, there's jocks, there's hot chicks, there's like, chubby chicks, I feel like I've seen so many fucking rom-coms and sitcoms. I am
You're the chubby friend.
Honestly, yeah, I'm the chubby friend. I'm the shy, quiet guy that will write fucking poems, bring you flowers, and I always lose the chicks to like
you're my sweetheart.
To the quote unquote jocks.
Chris is very romantic.
Well,
you're the friend zone guy.
But even Big Al would say the thing is like I've been told this my entire life by Monica or many females. I'm like when you watch any of these films and stuff, I'm the guy that chicks want at 40. The thing is, but I've been this way since I was 12, and you know this, Susan. But the thing is, girls at 16, at 25, at 30,
things
like
from things remembered, writing them poetry.
Yeah, you're right though. But most women in their teens and 20s don't want that. They like, well, I'm what they want when they're fucking 40.
Yeah.
Like, and that's I've been told that by
an old soul, and like the problem is every girl when they're young they want
the bad boy.
They want to go through the douchebag phase.
Yeah. The guys that treat them like shit.
And like, unfortunately, you don't understand why that is.
No, I honestly don't.
You don't.
Well, I think I personally wanted like a Disney fairy tale. Like I wanted to be romantic, but the thing is you can't help who you're attracted to.
Exactly.
So, and the whole thing, I say this a lot, like when a woman is in a domestic relationship, it's a psychological statistic. It's going to take them at least 7 times for them to get up and leave them in order for it to stick.
Yeah.
Like Stockholm syndrome is a thing. People do develop sympathy for their abusers. And most of the time, it's not that the person wants to end the relationship to begin with. It's not like they're with the guy because they want to be with a piece of shit. It's they just want the abuse to stop. Yeah. They want to love the person, but the person is abusive, and that's what makes it so sad is that they will eventually have to accept that it's futile.
Right.
That somebody that they do love may never stop abusing them. And that's why it's so hard. But yeah, it statistically takes a battered woman 7 times, at least 7 times, for them to leave their abuser in order for it to stick, which is really sad. Like, that's how much we, like, associate, like, pain with love, and, like, we have, like, this weird, like, martyr complex to think that, like, to put us through so much stuff like that.
But I won't harp on it much longer, but, like, my entire life, and everybody here has known this, and anybody listen to this, how many times in all of our lifetimes have you heard the term, nice guys finish last?
Yep.
It's been, I've heard that since I was fucking 10 years old, and there's a reason. I feel like I'm the prime example of, like, nice guys finish last, because like I've been cheated on to guys who treat women the total 180 of the way I do, and I've said before, like, I never listen, nobody's fucking perfect, not any of us are, no 4 of us,
of course.
But I still feel like there's certain principles that through my father, my grandfather, and in fact being the only boy in the family, having a cousin and 3 sisters and a mother, I still feel like different principles, like Susan knows this, I would never, unless Selena had a shotgun, I would never physically put my hands on a female. I just don't do that shit. And I wind up losing girlfriends to guys who beat the shit out of them. I don't understand that. I lose girlfriends to guys who like cheat on them multiple fucking times. I don't say it to be a macho thing or an ego thing, but it is somewhat of a pride issue. The fact that I'm turning 40, I've literally never cheated on somebody because I don't believe in that shit.
Well, that goes back to something your mom had once told me about, like something that happened between you and Ginger like years ago. where you guys were arguing, and all of a sudden she took her nails and she like just dug them straight down your face.
I told Salena actually recently she went to her face, she put a fucking knife to my throat.
Yeah,
you know,
and like you slapped her.
Hey Salena, can you pass
to get her off of you?
I mean, please.
And like when your mom found out you slapped her, she like slapped you, but at the same point she was like, you know, because Ginger was sitting there, and she's like, I can't believe he put his hands. And your mom turned to her, and she's like,
that was what was shut.
Your mom turned on her, and she said to her, she's like, yeah, he slapped you. He didn't punch you. He slapped you.
That was one time where I would know, I was, and this, we went through this on this fucking podcast, how many times I was actually physically being abused. And at some point, like, anybody here, there's only so many times you can punch me, or scratch me, hit me, but eventually I'm just going to fucking, like, just get the fuck off me, you know, because at this point, because, like, you're causing blood off my fucking face and shit, too. I'm smacking you just to get you the fuck off me, you know? But then, then she ran to the fucking police, though, and the police were like, oh, you put your hands on your girlfriend? Well, hold a second. She's got a fucking, like, red mark in her face. I'm covered in fucking blood. Who do you think was abused here?
Yeah, and you were a kid. Well, how old were you?
I was like fucking 20, 21 years old.
Oh, you were
but again, that goes back to stigmas and stereotypes.
But she was actually beating the fuck out of me, and
it was 20 because
what's it, 20,
she was
21?
pregnant.
Yeah,
she was pregnant at the time.
Thank God. That's no example. Sometimes pregnancies when they end, thank God they ended for, because if I was still tied to her for 18 fucking years, like, so.
Well, that kid now would be like what, 20, 21?
I'm just saying, but it's been 18 years I've been, so.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, I'm pretty sure, you know, when it comes to battered women, I hate to go back to that. It's just
it's amazing how many things
domestic abuse is just more common than like it really is. But it's also a lot of domestic abuses don't get, you know, charged and don't really like.
I remember that was something that like pissed your mom off, because she's like, you know, between both her and your dad, they always said, never put your hands on a woman, never put your hands on a woman. Yeah. And like that was one time where your mom's like, I don't care, like if she had done that to me, she'd be 6 feet in the fucking ground. Yeah. And she's like, he slapped her. He didn't punch her, he slapped her.
Actually, funny part, I remember that when she was in the hospital, her mother, wow, deep memories. Her fucking mother was like, Chris, can you go with me down to the car to get some, she wanted to get some out of the car. I was like, sure, no problem. And I get into the fucking elevator with her mother gets to my face. She's like, I heard you put your fuck hands on my daughter. I'm like, no, I didn't put my hands in. Next, you know, wham. And fuck, she had a ring in her finger. She decked me right in the fucking forehead. And actually, to this day, it went away. I had a scar on my forehead. She fucking cut my whole forehead wide open. And so you put your fucking hands on my daughter? And I'm like, I didn't put my hands on your daughter. Your daughter was actually, at one point, grabbed a knife and put it to my fucking throat. And I got your daughter off me. But like, and right there, I should like, it's the shit I've been through.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Quick question. It was something interesting he brought up that I think we could do like a quick go around before we continue this great podcast further. Like how you were saying how there was stigmas and stereotypes, like how people dealt with you and stuff like that. I was kind of intrigued to see the four of us, you know, what was the stereotypes, no matter good or bad, people thought of you when it came to growing up and being in school, high school and stuff like that. Like how people looked at you in a certain way.
For me, I always felt like, you know, I've said this before, that I had a ton of female friends that would have really shitty boyfriends, and they would come to me and tell me how bad their boyfriends were. And as funny as it is, like, I wish I had a boyfriend that was like you. I'm like, okay, what about me? Well, not you, but a guy that was like you, because they weren't physically attracted to me.
Yeah.
And like, also like, and Salena knows this, and even Susan, I was never in high school like really obese by any means, but I definitely had some weight on me. And as my 20s hit, I dropped a lot of fucking weight and gained a lot of muscle, but I definitely was like, you know, a chubbier fucking kid in high school years. But my stigma, and like Susan knows this, mom, I was Chris the fucking player because I had a ton of female friends. But I'm like, no, I was every girl's emotional pillow. You know, and some girls would even think I was gay.
You were their emotional support animal.
Some girls think I would be gay because I'd be hanging out with a girl and not hitting on her or not trying to fuck her, because I'm like, well, I'm 15, 16. I'm watching all the 90s fucking movies and stuff, and watching all the Backstreet Boys and Instincts and everything, trying to treat women with respect. And I'm watching these girls.
I know. I find it so interesting how much your life parallels with these like battered women. Like all these women complain about, like, why do you keep going back to your abusive lover, and you have such similar lives to a battered woman. Like you've been in an abusive relationship that you kept going back to and back to and back to, when like there's probably just as much options that you know, a woman in those positions, that you constantly think, what, you had those same options as well. But no, I just find that you are like a battered male. you relate a lot, which is probably why you have so much projections and like opinions about it, because you know what you've been through it too.
It's not wrong.
But it was just very interesting, like how much like you have so much passion about that specific thing, but you also experience yourself. You actually are in the same boat now that I realize.
So that was my stereotype, was a lot of people thought I was a player, and I'm like, and this became over time that how many people would think that a lot of men and women can have monogamous relationships, and like, I get like, I can pull up fucking Twitter right now. I can pull up news articles every 5 minutes about some woman getting raped in a subway or something or parking lot. So I said, I get why women are fearful of men, but like, so I understand the fact that
it's literally in our physiology.
Yeah, and we've said this before. Me and Lewis, like, I've read so many articles where like, if I get out of work, right, walk to my car. It's if you and Susan walk to your car, you guys are worrying about looking around and somebody's going to fucking jump up and rape the shit out of you. That's something.
The analogy where it feels like two guys walking alone in a park being followed by a woman, they wouldn't be scared. But if it was two women walking in the park followed by a man, they'd be a little concerned.
So that became a thing where like so many girls would like said it became this very scary thing where it's like if a guy like me would show a woman active kindness, whether it's like giving you a fucking hug, whether it's buying you some flowers or just giving you a compliment, automatically it's like, you call me pretty, you trying to fuck me? No, I'm just trying to be your friend. So
right.
That was the stereotypes. I went through a lot of bad stereotypes where like, why are you so nice to me for? Like, and of course, if you're this nice, what do you want in return? Like what are you trying to get out of me? And I'm like, I'm just trying to be a good fucking person.
Right.
So many, and even in 2021, so many people, especially in 2021 with the internet, when you're kind nowadays to anybody, everyone's like Salena, like, hey, listen, here's $5. Like, earlier today, Salena left her purse on the bus, and somebody fucking paid for her meal, just out of kindness.
It was so nice, and I had to pay it forward. Yeah.
But
I gave Lewis some munchies.
But how many people, now say for instance, not you directly, but how many times, like, say this was a random guy helping a random girl, first thing in her fucking mind was like, if you're paying for my meal, do you want to fuck me?
Or like, you must be attracted to me.
Yeah, or just
something.
People get kindness and niceness confused. Kindness is coming from who you are, no expectations or ulterior motives in return. Nice is when you're being nice to your target, meaning that when you do something that's kindly in gesture, there is an expectation or an exchangement expecting in return. And because they are so like, how I say, a coin flip between the two, a lot of people get them confused or assume, oh, you being too nice to me. What are you up to?
Yeah.
I'm just being respectful. Make sure you're all right.
Susan talked about this. We had, after this I'll be done, but we've had a lot of coworkers at Goodwill. Why is Chris like, Chris calls me beautiful, or Chris calls me nice. Chris is just being a good person. Like, I'm not trying to sleep with you, but, so that's mine.
I will
You're
say,
also like that too, though, Chris. When everybody's nice to you, you're so confused. You're like, and stuff.
I will say though,
how we was talking about conditioning and stuff.
I really like did kind of feel bad for was when one of the girls who he was trying to become friends with her, and like she didn't know like how Chris is.
Right.
And like she's sitting there, and I'm friends with this girl. I still am friends with this girl to this day. And she messaged me. She's like, Susan, your cousin's like messaging me. And, like, he's saying, like, these weird things to me. And, like...
Yeah, you are weird, dude.
And she's like...
Team weird, baby.
Like,
Team weird.
But here's the thing. Like,
he didn't mean any harm.
The thing is at first she's like... It was nice when he's, like, being nice. And he's like, I think you're really nice. I think you're really beautiful. Like, I know we don't talk that often, but I just want to let you know, like, if you ever need a friend, I'll be there. And blah, blah, blah. And whatever. And she's like, and that was great. But then he's like... I know you don't think I'm attractive.
I know he's
I'll never find love.
I'm not worthy.
Pretty much,
wow.
Yeah, like freaking Wayne's World with freaking Aerosmith.
Yes.
Fucking shit. And then these worst fucking line he ever said in his fucking life. I swear to God, he's like, I know. I'm always the bridesmaid, never the bride. And like,
wow,
it's true.
I'm like, he said,
Chris, I hate your life right now.
I'm like, he said what to you? And she's like, it was so weird. And she's like, and I don't know what brought it on. And I'm
like, bridesmaids, never the bride. That needs to be your bio.
And so
Facebook.
like, I'm like,
the poster child of that.
Here's the problem. Yeah. I have a big mouth. And I do, to some degree. Like, I tell Chris a lot of shit I probably shouldn't tell Chris sometimes. Like, especially to do with, like, friends. Like, if I'm venting about something, like, if I feel like there was an injustice to, like, a female friend of mine, I'll say it to him. I'm like, using an example, I'm not going to use the girl's real name. Kathy, like, she's a single mom, but like the father of her kid and like his new wife, like they're always trying to like take the kid, and like they already have a kid of their own together, and he's not really in that kid's life, but his wife's always taking the kid, and it's like they're trying to like make this kid like their family, even though like she's a part of it, she's raising her kid, and and that's what crazy. This friend was going through, and like I was venting to him about it, and that's what brought that on, and I apologized to her. I'm like, I am so sorry. This is my fault. And she's like, what do you mean? And I told her, like, the whole thing. And she's like, okay, well, I can see, like, you were concerned about me and, like, you really do, like, genuinely care. And she's like, I'm happy that you do. But she's like, but to Chris? She's like, I didn't think he'd react like this. And I'm like, yeah, I should have thought. I really should have.
Yeah.
I really should.
What the hell?
Boo-boos! Hi, baby.
Yeah, Chris should know he'd been through it before. I'm curious, how many did you ever like leave Christina before, but went back and changed your mind?
I talked to you about that. No, we definitely.
I want to know how many times.
Oh God.
You left her a lot, but
there was only one time that I know of.
Oh, it's actually no, it's probably 2 or 3 times.
2 or 3.
Just like I said, she's a prime example where I felt like when you have a kid, things change. Things change when you have a kid, and I saw this to Salena where, and Susan knew this, when you see your kid every single day of your life, and Lewis and any guy listening to this, and plenty of guys have been through this shit. When you see your kid 7 days a week and you're there for the first year of your kid's life, this kid is your entire fucking world. Then some drama happens, some bullshit happens. Next thing you know, it's like a week passes by, 2 weeks, a month passes by, and when you're there every single day of your kid's fucking life, a month away from your kid feels like a fucking eternity.
Absolutely.
And at some point she gets in contact with me and stuff, and she pulls on the waterworks, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do this, and blah blah. And it's next thing you know, you're like, I'm still pissed off at you. I hate you for what you did to me. In fact, you put me in fucking jail for some shit I didn't fucking do. But like, I really miss my kid, So it's like I have to pretend to want to be with you. And at one point, we actually went to couples counseling, and we tried that, and it just was. It did not go well because it was 100% her just shitting on me for like an hour and a half. Even the therapist looking at her kind of funny, like, and it's just like I never felt like that worthless in my life. Where just everything from like the fucking weather outside's my fault to like just, and you know how she fucking is. But
wow, how long did you put up with that? And you just kept going back?
God,
were there like nicer girls you wanted to date at the time?
You're gonna meet her tomorrow.
I know, right?
Well, I told you,
you could have dated other girls and honestly, stuff, when you were dating her. But
I feel like honestly, talking to fucking
pattern.
girls, I can only assume how I've talked to Salena or anybody.
Right.
How like a lot of girls get into relationships with these guys that are assholes. Many women have told me, Chris, when I first met this guy, he was an asshole the first 6 months, and he turned into an asshole. Or eventually, like I've talked to women who are like, the first 6 months he didn't punch me in the face. Eventually, he started beating the shit out of me. But when I first met him, he wasn't like that. So when I first met Christina, there was, she definitely morphed. I wasn't sure if she was hiding her true self. But even my dad liked her a lot. He goes, she's a good girlfriend. She's a good fucking mother. And
that's usually a good sign.
Over time, she just even mom.
You said it right. Usually.
Yeah, everyone liked her when we first met her.
Susan knew her. My mother knew her. She, for a time, was a very good fucking person. I don't know what changed, but said
only person who didn't like her was Robert.
Oh, which one's that?
Oh, he was right all along. He had a feeling.
No, he knew her in high school.
Oh,
he knew her in high school, and he's like, why the fuck is she dating Chris?
Yeah. But she did, like, when I first met her, she did.
This is a good guy. Why is she with him?
Yeah, she did seem like a good fucking person, But and once she gave fucking birth to my son, boy, she changed a lot. And I've heard about that. Sometimes fucking pregnancies can change a fucking person, but then she just started getting more fucking bitter and more like, and over time I realized the fact that like when she met me, I was making a lot of fucking money, and I didn't know at the time period that all she cared about was the fucking money. Just like
I ain't saying she a gold digger.
Ain't messing with no broke niggas.
But no, we definitely separated a few times, and every time I would get back with her is because what she would do, the whole thing was she would hijack my kid. And like, well, if you're not with me, you can't see him. And like, and even saying this to me. And I'm like, so for me to see my son, I have to be with you?
She was trying to pull a power play.
That is disgusting, baby. Yeah. You're so greedy. She sounds like such a greedy little gremlin. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So
I held back for a really long time. I'm trying to bash her, but like after the things you hear about,
greedy.
Oh my god,
greedy and narky.
But she's not the one, because I mean I've met like actually in high school when I first for what?
She take my money. Yes, it's a trifling
Friend indeed. Oh, she's a gold digger.
Yeah.
Way over town. Depend on me.
But not just
continue.
hurt though. What there's like, I mean, when I was in high school, when my first girlfriend broke up with me, you know, and a few months passed by, and summertime came. We went. I was in my senior year of high school. I met my new girlfriend, and she my previous one broke up with me, called me whatever, all kinds of fucking names. I ruined this, and just a whole 2-hour spiel of how awful I was. Okay, fine. You know, we broke up, and I'm 16 years old and shit, and I meet somebody fucking new. Meet somebody new. She bugs the fuck out and is telling the whole fucking school, all her friends, all this, and like, it's like, you dumped me, right? And you don't want to be with me anymore.
She didn't want you, but didn't want nobody else to have you.
And how often does that fucking happen now?
hers.
So, but even like with Christina didn't want to fucking be with me, but like, if I'm not with you, I can't fucking see my
She
kid
just
anymore.
wanted you to financially support her, basically. It's crazy. She trapped you, dude.
But she definitely was.
You got trapped.
Yeah, I know. So, but thank God, 4 more years.
She said flat out, like, after he was born, he was like, what, 3-4 months years old. 3-4 months old. And like, she was on the phone with Nancy, and she was like, to your mother.
Yeah.
Mind you don't say certain shit to your boyfriend's mom.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You don't say certain shit to your boyfriend's dad.
Exactly.
You don't say certain shit to your girlfriend's mom. You don't say
it's called
certain
common
shit
courtesy.
to your girlfriend's dad.
Mm-hmm.
This bitch, she's on the phone talking to Nancy like she's talking to one of her freaking girlfriends.
Yeah.
And she's saying to her, well, I was going to have a baby no matter who it was by. And I stayed with Chris because he was the father.
So doing shit just to do shit, pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, like, and not even like, shitting on every female out there, but like, this happens a lot more. Not just to me, it happens all the fucking time. And and guys do horrible shit to females all the time. But like,
Right.
But there are a lot of females that will hijack a fucking kid in family court or something just for whatever fucking reason. Like, so.
Yeah, because people are freaking liars.
Yeah.
That's what sucks too. It's just like, that's why people have such crazy trust issues. And I used to be so naive because I was just so eager to like please and make friends. I think like people are just willing to be vulnerable.
Willing to accept anyone except accepting someone who earned that trust, that love,
and
that
it's scary.
appreciation.
Like, Big Al, I've talked to Big Al a million times about, he's a Chris. Situations like yours are what guys are scared to get a girl fucking pregnant for. And I'm like, Al, I do get that. Trust me, she's a pain in the ass, but like, it does make you wonder on some kind of a cosmic fucking scale, or like, who knows, somebody bigger than us that like, yeah, she's garbage, but then she gave me him.
I can say with all happiness, Al has not put his 3 babies inside me.
Oh my God.
But like, so,
he has a number.
What's like Lewis?
He said by the end of this year, I will have 3 babies by him.
But like, like Lewis only had a few interactions with my son. Obviously, Selena's had a lot of interaction with Christian. You've had, and Christian is like basically
That's my buddy.
But he's like a clone of me. But like,
clearly, I've had interactions with Christian.
Your family, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was
like, who's Christian? He's been living here
Yeah.
this whole time.
That's that kid that's been sleeping above me?
Well, that's what's scary. But then like, what's scary is like,
Who doesn't give me any privacy whatsoever?
Wow.
Dean does not get used anymore.
I want to hear about
Oh
that.
my God.
I told Salena.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm glad I didn't grab this brandy.
I approve of the name.
But just, before I move on, just so it does raise the moral question of like, she's a terrible fucking human being, but he's nothing like her. So it's like, how does that happen? It's like, if it wasn't
your big
her,
heart, the heart that you have is probably the more predominant inheritance.
Yeah, we gotta friggin' make sure Christian doesn't
have
certain qualities from either of you guys.
Right.
He doesn't have like Christina seems angry all the time, and she talks so loud. Like there's one time I never met her yet, but I was just walking in the house and I could hear her everything she was saying in the car, and I asked Chris like, were the windows rolled down when she was talking? And he's like, no.
It sounds like she's not at peace with herself at all.
Outside of the car, and all the windows were up.
Oh, she's a very miserable human being because she's a cliche where
And Christian's very
all she cares about is money. It's all she cares about. It doesn't matter how old you are, if you're ugly, good looking, what kind of person you are. As long as you got fucking money, it's all she cares about.
She's financially ambiguous.
Yep.
Pretty much.
But you're kind of soft spoken too, Chris.
Yeah. I'm saying, but like, Well, I'm saying, but I don't like. I'm not with her. I'm not with you because like based on how much money you make and shit. I'm saying Christina. It's like all she cares about is how much money you make.
That was the case.
So.
Like, what can I get from you?
So, is anyone else want to be the next runner-up on the podcast topic of the moment? How was you treated based on stigmas and stereotypes, no matter good or bad?
Oh, like in high school?
Yeah.
Well, that's funny that you mentioned that because my 10-year high school reunion is coming up, and I don't know if I want to go though.
I feel you.
But I don't know. I hated school, but I was just like a miserable child to begin with. Like, I was like pretty like self-pitiful. But yeah, I was like picked on. I was picked on, bullied. I would kind of hung out with a lot of underdogs. Oh, be closer. Yeah, I kind of hung out with a lot of underdogs. And I had one specific friend who, she was born, I want to say, like, with 85% crack in her system or 80% crack in her system. And she was born, like, dying. Like, doctors told her that the baby was going to die.
Wow.
Her first moments of life was her family basically saying bye to her.
Wow.
And she ended up living and surviving through it all. And she's kind of like a miracle baby. But she kind of looks deformed looking. She has like, she's just not stereotypically attractive, I'll say that. And
okay.
She's picked on that a lot. She's not like hideous.
Okay.
But she was picked on for looking different. And she was always highly defensive because of it. And even though that was understandable, it made her very, very unbearable to be around. She was one of my closest friends. Like, I loved her, but also hated her because it was like, I always had to explain everything I said because she was so hypersensitive and took everything so personal that even like if I was joking around or just saying something, she would need to explain like, what did you mean by that? Or like, why did you say that? She was so like insecure and just paranoid about being made fun of and talked about. So it was very exhausting dealing with her, but because of that, she was ostracized a lot.
Wow.
And I was her best friend, so I was ostracized a lot in certain moments because when she was ostracized, she would just be like, Salena, come be ostracized with me, basically. And, guilt, like, I'm not going to leave my friend hanging. It's either choose to be hanging out with people who I know aren't really, not sure are my friends, or hang out with someone I really know is my friend. Yeah. I would hang out with her a lot, and it would just be me and her. Okay. Sometimes, which sucked. Because I got ostracized vicariously through her. But that's something that really stuck out to me. But I don't regret it. I don't regret it because
she sounded like she was good.
She didn't deserve it. Yeah. Regardless.
She sounded like she's a good person. Very
she's crazy. Person. She's freaking crazy. She has a good heart. She has good intentions. But she's so like mentally like she needs help a lot.
Right.
But yeah, I don't talk to her as much. From what I hear, she's on drugs and shit. It happens to people who've had a tough life.
Damn. Okay.
But that was kind of something that really stuck out to me throughout my academic years in middle and high school. But yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah.
One thing what made me think too, because we were talking about like confidence and arrogance and stuff, and one thing that really annoys me is like how much people misconstrue self-arrogance with like inferiority. A lot of people have an inner inferiority complex where like they need to act confident and like need to act like they have all these qualities that like apparent they don't have.
Like they have confidence even though like they are like shriveled up inside.
Yeah, like
inflated confidence.
And
pretty much.
It's obvious and apparent that like they don't have these qualities or have these things that they say they do. You know,
they're trying so hard to put it out there that they do.
They want to act like such a badass and like and that's common with a lot of fucking arrogant guys and stuff. Common with a lot of these guys who get a lot of pussy because they want to act like they're this person that they're really not. And as you get older, it becomes so much more easier to see.
True.
And
true.
It's just something that just really pisses me off. I was like, you look more insecure acting this way and acting confident. That the only person who would believe you is like they gotta have so much more lower self-esteem that they don't even have the energy to act confident. So.
Right.
But that's something that really irks me lately, in guys specifically. It's how much they want to like showboat and like one up each other, and that doesn't look manly at all to me. It honestly just shows me how insecure you really are if you're like ready to take such cheap punches. Like you're being a cheap person. But yeah, that's just one thing that I don't think it's wrong being arrogant, because a true arrogant person doesn't really need you. A true arrogant person they're so confident they wouldn't even belittle themselves to want to interact in a way that they need to showboat, because they're so confident in themselves they don't need to prove it.
Most arrogant people do belittle people, because when it comes to true greatness and knowledge, you're willing to share it with others, no matter if they're on a level playing field with you, greater or lesser. But usually an arrogant person, that's like me having something valuable in possession, and I go like, ha, Salena, I got this, you don't. I'm being arrogant as fuck right now.
I mean, it depends on how valuable that thing is. Like, if you know for a fact that it's a very, very valuable thing and you believe in it and you trust it, I would understand that. If you can back up what you have, I would get that. But if you're gloating, it's still an inferiority complex to an extent, because you're trying to prove that you're better than somebody by doing such a gesture. That alone, if you were truly better, you wouldn't even need to do that gesture.
True. And that also goes with, by me being arrogant and rubbing it in your face or anyone else's face, it's not just undermining you, but I'm undermining the value of the item. Someone who genuinely appreciates something is going to be like, yo, check this out.
Yeah. Right.
Genuinely. They're not going to try to make you feel bad for not having or whatever. They're going to put you on game to that.
Right.
But unfortunately, there's a number of people who are buttholes that needs they wet wipes. Get the raspberries off their face. Dingleberries.
Yeah, I just found that interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah. I gotta go potty.
Good talks.
Anybody else gotta go potty?
Well, while you do your potty deed, fam, anyone else wanna
go to the John?
Anybody else? Next runner up.
I was gonna post some different articles for fun.
Oh, I was gonna. If I was to go, I was gonna make mine quick. It wasn't gonna be.
I'll lose track. I've had we've talked about so much. I didn't know you went.
Nah, it was you.
This goddamn
then
brand,
Salena.
Brand, I lost track.
I was just saying it seemed like an interesting topic, because we're not just giving the podcast viewers something to tune into, but it's also we're getting to know each other and the fans.
Yeah, Chris doesn't like that.
What? What?
Us getting to know each other better.
Oh no, I'm good.
So, well, I mean, I could start mine. Like I said, it don't even have to be like a big drawn out thing, but I could start mine on the stigmas, if you will. I mean, you cool with that?
Okay.
Awesome.
I would say the stereotypes I've been through is I've been treated like the jock that gets the popularity, treats people in that popularity like shit. But I was actually the nerd on the low, the one that actually did respect people and stuff like that, because of my superficial appearance. My bad. My superficial appearance, I look like the one who was the top quarterback or whatever. Not saying I was the best looking guy or anything like that, but I guess in physical form, I was treated that way because I was around. I was the one that was able to be the jack of all trades, blend with a lot of people, but primarily and predominantly, I was the one you could talk to and not worry about being judged or share your vulnerabilities and secrets and not worry about it getting repeated back to someone else and things like that. And that was more like high school and stuff like that. But then when I became an adult and seeing what's out there in the real world, it didn't change so much, but it went from being treated like you was the jock bully to you the jock bully who went to jail and got into trouble. And I'm like, I don't even got a record. And I guess, it made me second guess myself and speculate on a lot of things, like each and every one of us do. Second guess our own greatness, maybe have a little low self-esteem and stuff.
Yeah.
But in due time, even down to like friendships and relationships, I guess it's because physically I had the stereotypical features, whereas I was considered popular even to this day, But then when they saw how I actually treated people, a lot of people thought it was a facade.
Yeah.
Like, it was actually before this podcast, a good friend of mine, it wasn't an argument, but it was a misunderstanding, and they actually came out and was like, oh, you like everyone else who did me dirty? And I'm saying, like, I did you dirty. How? But then when we was texting, when you was on the way to pick me up, they actually apologized, you know.
Sorry,
and I was like, hey, we all got things we internalize, we need to vent about and stuff like that. And I told them, I get why you probably accused me of certain things, because even though I don't play the part, based on my upbringing and conditioning, many people experience. Thank you. And I'm sitting here like, I might look like an asshole. I have the tendencies, but I'm not in the core an asshole. It's just more like, you know, like I'm the type where when I want something, I don't just be transparent about it, but I respect a yes or no.
Yeah.
Meaning I'm not going to be the weirdo who's going to force myself upon you and stuff like that. I'm the type where, okay, no, cool. And just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Where a lot of guys, not men, guys or man-sized boys, they tend to make decent dudes who do respect a woman's vulnerabilities, her decisional limitations, look bad.
Yeah.
And I guess because I look like the guy that's going to be like, you're going to go on a date with me or else.
You just look intimidating.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I guess those who do know me, they be like, yo, you a gentle bear. And I'm like,
yeah.
I mean, I appreciate the compliment. I'm more of I like to share my honey and fish than devour. I'm like the type, yo, if I got, we got, you know. That's always been me.
Yeah. I mean, stereotypes, I think they exist. They're always going to exist. It's just like,
absolutely.
I mean, like I said, all four of us, you know, also even like our areas. Like, imagine if like the four of us grew up in like, you know, we're in Albany, New York. What if we grew up in like, you know, Alabama or like California or fucking like, you know, Texas or something? We could have had 4 different stereotype experiences based on our demographic, you know.
I was born in this area, but even though I rectified 1A, I was raised in New Orleans, Louisiana. But me, I guess, based on like some positive, and I include the negative upbringings, you know, I have some of those stereotypes, mostly the positive ones. The negative is very, very little for the most part. But I could definitely understand like how he was saying, you know, the stigmas, stereotypes, misunderstandings and stuff like that. Cause I've been told by numerous people, you know, that I look like somebody that did 10 plus years. I'm like, what? I'm like, I never.
People get crazy vibes from you.
And I guess there was something that and I was thinking to myself, I don't know if it's a vibe or maybe it's because I take things seriously, even though I'm a very optimistic, love to laugh, joke, talk shit. I guess first appearance, someone's told me that I look like I eat people for a living.
Oh my God.
I was like,
what?
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
So you were never really rowdy in school, or?
I was a class clown, but not the type that really got in detention, really. I've been told by people after we graduated that I made certain school academics interesting.
Oh, like bearable. Like you made school fun. That's nice.
Like that's why I said that even though physically I've been told by people I look like the jock or the bully, but I was the class clown who was nerdy on the low. I was very much of a bookworm. Like pretty much someone told me I look like the dude from Alcatraz with the pin code.
You got doing vibes, bro.
I was doing Albert Einstein formula codes. Like, wait a minute, why he over there making perfect formulas but look like he would slit somebody's throat in a second? I'm like, that's not me.
That's very interesting. So in a way it's kind of good because like at least people would second guess like fucking with you because your stature and like how you look seemed like you would kill them. So in a way it kind of protected you, I bet. Did you deal with a lot of bullies in school or?
Actually I did, but that was before I guess you could
Your
say
serial killer looks.
I gotta give you that, Salena. When I was little, I didn't have like the broad shoulders, stocky, muscular look. That was when I started getting into the martial arts and stuff like that. My physique started to change. And when that started, I guess coming up with my characteristics, figuring myself out, maturity, that's when it went from, hey, let's fuck with him to I'm not sure about him now. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah, hey, that was good. That was a good fun hour. You know.
Oh,
I liked
nice.
It. Yeah.
Right.
An hour went by.
Yeah, we're at an hour and 5 minutes. So.
Oh, nice. That's
But
good.
yeah, I just want to pull up. Well, it's kind of in the same vein, but a little bit. But you know, and before if we move on to a different topic, but I want to pull up this news article because I thought it was funny, and I want everyone's reactions.
All ears.
But Susan, I know I've watched a couple episodes. Have you watched all the Harley Quinn show on HBO Max,
Yep.
right?
Okay. I have.
I've watched a couple episodes, and it's very, for what it is, it's a very R-rated version of Harley Quinn.
Seasons, yeah.
Well,
we talked about that at the cookout.
We did. Okay.
Well, not you and I. We was talking about workout martial arts stuff. We was talking about it with Power Rangers, Supernatural, stuff like that. And she gave some good pointers that made me laugh.
I've watched a couple episodes. I thought it was pretty funny. But for the most part, anybody listening, the Harley Quinn show is a very R-rated cartoon. It's very Harley Quinn's fucking swearing, doing insane shit, very violent stuff.
Swearing.
Honestly, yes.
Pretty much.
Yeah, because look at it, like sometimes a Batman cartoon show is made for kids. This is not made for kids by any fucking means.
Hell no.
So,
well, I think the reason why it's made more geared towards adults is because of how many adults actually like love and adore Harley Quinn.
And Joker included, even though it wasn't much about him.
But here's the thing. Harley Quinn came out during our childhood, so therefore
Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
So therefore Harley Quinn is more our generational like character that we love.
So this is something that comes down to
agree.
I guess moral questioning about characters and what's adult. Like, okay, as a kid, like, you know, a character like the fucking Punisher should be rated R. He shouldn't be targeted. He shouldn't be targeted towards kids.
No.
Deadpool, for some fucking reason, kids like Deadpool's colors. Deadpool is not made for children by any.
No, it's not.
So like with the Harley Quinn show, this Harley Quinn show is not made for kids.
No.
So this came out with Twitter and stuff and the creators. Right. But here's the article that was talking about. Here's one of the writers said. Damn, phone skipping. Okay. It's incredibly gratifying and free to be using characters that are considered villains because you have so much more leeway, that they told Variety magazine. A perfect example of this is that in the third season of Harley Quinn, we had a moment where Batman was going down on Catwoman. And DC was like, you can't do that. You absolutely cannot do that. They're like, heroes don't do that. So we said, are you saying that heroes
don't give
He's saying heroes don't eat the cat?
So they're like... So DC
heroes wouldn't be shown.
They would be able to give the best head. Imagine getting head by the Flash.
Talk to the mic, yeah.
But
I'm not talking to the mic.
But
yeah, imagine getting head by the Flash. Wouldn't that be amazing?
I think that was. I think
about that for the next hour.
I think you'll be too tender after he was done.
How many times would you orgasm in a minute from the Flash?
Oh my god.
I agree, but it'll be too tender afterwards.
But here's
you're getting a blowjob by the Flash.
Let me explain though.
Imagine that.
What they're trying to say in comparison to like what you guys are getting from it. What they mean is because heroes aren't seen in like that like they can kiss, they can do whatever, but
to finish
they're not perverts. They're not supposed to be perverts.
To finish the article, they said that
only villains are perverts.
Yeah.
DC was like, no.
Villains are more fun. Sorry.
I can't argue with that.
Welcome to the Susan and Salena show.
Yeah. So DC told them that, no, it's that we sell consumer toys for heroes. It's hard to sell a toy if Batman is going down on somebody. Yet, despite the often violent nature of DC superhero media, going down on a woman is apparently over the line. So yes, this is what's kind of comical is people are like, okay, hold up a second. You're bitching that you don't want Batman going down on Catwoman because you can't sell the toys to kids. This show is not fucking targeted towards kids. And also this comes down to the moral question. We talked about this a million times with social media and everything. You're okay with Harley Quinn as a show, right? Having the Joker decapitate somebody, Batman, Harley fucking murdering somebody, doing whatever and shit. But the
Harley and Ivy having sex.
Yeah, but if Batman goes down on Catwoman, that's pushing the line. So we've said this with this thing with America. It's like I can have a video game where a fucking man rips a person's fucking heart out of their chest. That's okay.
But so people condone murder more than sex.
Yeah.
That sounds like.
Basically, yeah. So it's like, so the creators were saying for Harley Quinn season 3, they wanted to have a scene because in the comics right now, Batman is actually married to Catwoman. Yeah. They wanted to have a fucking scene with Batman going down on Catwoman. DC was like, that's too fucking much, and they're like, well, okay, that's too much, but you have a show where the whole brutality is okay, but sex is off limits.
But that's
I saved you from a car crash. Open your legs.
But here's the thing. The show isn't targeted towards children to begin with, so why should that even matter?
So, of course, Twitter being what it is, me and Selena talked about this. Sometimes Twitter, read the comment section, it's fucking comedy gold. This guy was like, Batman begins, but none of his ladies finish. Wow. This guy, here's Mike, he's like, honestly, it's just nice to know that I'm better than Batman at something. So, I feel like if Prince knew that Batman didn't eat pussy, he wouldn't have done that song. Says Joker is like, and where is the Batman Catwoman? I can tell you where he's not. So, wow. But no, I found it as a funny article because obviously the Harley Quinn show is first off, it's on HBO Max. It's R-rated.
An adult show.
Your kids shouldn't be fucking watching the show together. So Batman and also too, it's like Batman and Catwoman, yes, they are superheroes, but they're also human beings. Like Kevin Smith dealt with this shit. Kevin Smith, he actually wrote a couple of Batman comics and stuff. One of the things was one character, a fire character, said that he was fighting Batman, and Batman said, one time I had a bladder spasm. He goes, what do you mean? He goes, I had a bladder spasm. Kevin said he actually talked to firefighters. He goes, a lot of things guys don't notice and hear about, what firefighters never tell you about is that first off, everybody here, right, when you first wake up in the morning, okay, so you take a fucking shower, right? Most people wake up in the fucking morning, the first thing you do, take a piss. But a lot of people hop into the fucking shower. You ever notice when you take a very hot shower, you immediately want to fucking pee all of a sudden?
Yes.
That's because when the fucking hot water hits your fucking skin, it automatically triggers your fucking bladder to want to pee. Many fucking firemen say whenever they go into a hot building, firefighters piss themselves all the fucking times because that fucking initial flames hit their body, empties your fucking bladder. Yeah. So, it
makes sense.
Yeah.
It does, but I also feel like I have to pee when I'm too cold. And that's something that, like...
Which can happen.
But, that can happen, like, when... Yeah. Like, I'm warm and I don't have to pee, and then I'll go outside, and if it's too cold, I'm like, great, I have to pee all of a sudden.
But overall, it's like, it was a premise of, like, Kevin said, he talked to different firemen, said, like, oftentimes, firemen will piss themselves. So, in his episode, Batman was fighting this guy, and he said, I had a bladder spasm. And he goes, what's a bladder spasm? And Batman's like, he fought a person. At the end of the fucking day, Batman still is a human being. He still has to eat, sleep, piss, and fucking shit.
Right, absolutely.
But the fact that Kevin put down in a comic that Batman one time fought a guy and he actually peed himself, people lost their fucking minds. How dare Kevin make fucking Batman piss himself? Like, you realize he still is a human,
I think that's amazing. I feel like the psychological
powers.
Like
exactly, but
interpretation of the show. Like, which if you really love a show, you get there.
Part of our
pretty admirable.
When we were kids, Batman the animated series.
Good point.
When Batman fought fucking Mr. Freeze, he actually caught a cold, and actually when he actually beat Mr. Freeze, Alfred gave Batman a fucking thermos of chicken noodle soup. At the end, Mr. Freeze was beating the shit out of Batman. He actually took the chicken noodle soup and bashed him in the fuck head and broke his thing. But the thing is, Batman can catch a cold. He's still a fucking human, So it's like
he's borderline superhuman, but yes, he's still human.
Well, that's the thing. Watching freaking Harley Quinn in, like, I think it was season 2, Batman, something happened with him. I forget what the hell it was. He had, like, his ribs broken or some shit, and, like, he was on bed rest. And Harley was going around as the new superhero of freaking Gotham.
Yeah.
To try and, like, take down all the freaking villains. Because Batman wasn't able to.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was the part where, remember, like, the previews and shit where she falls into the Batcave. And she's like, so is this where you fuck the bats?
Jesus. But see, that's the thing. See, Harley can say, like you notice that Harley, Joker, the villains can swear, right? You notice Batman can't swear, Spider-Man can't swear,
Superman can't swear.
What, he swears in the show?
He swears in it?
I haven't watched a lot of it, so.
Are you talking about in the Harley Quinn show?
Yeah.
I could see that.
Okay.
Honestly, out of all the superheroes in the Justice League and the whole nine, I could see Batman being like, "The fuck is the bad guys?" Like,
I said, but it just like, but the internet did react though, just like the whole hypocrisy. We said DC steps in, and said, "Hey guys, you can create in this Harley Quinn show. You're 2 seasons in, do whatever the fuck you want, but the line we're drawing is Batman having sex. That's too edgy." And they're like, "Well, he's a human being.
Technically, he already banged Batgirl. Well, Batgirl banged him actually in one of the DC animated movies.
Yeah.
Yes.
So. As
well,
you said,
think about it though. Going back to like superheroes and things that they can and can't do. Think of Avengers: Age of Ultron. The huge fight scene at the beginning of the movie. Tony says something about like shit or like asshole or something.
Right.
And freaking Steve, he's like language, and then all throughout the fucking movie, they torment him about it.
Right, and then eventually Captain America, who's supposed to be like the straight-laced superhero,
He says something about kicking someone's ass.
yeah, he was like, Fury, you son of a bitch, and Iron Man was like, language, Rogers.
No, he says something about kicking someone's ass, and Fury gets on the freaking comm to him.
Right.
He's like, you kiss your mother with that mouth?
Right, yes he did.
yeah. So
Nick Fury, who's played by Sam Jackson, who is known as the man who says
Says
motherfucker
motherfucker.
in every single fucking movie he's in.
Mm-hmm.
Which
So,
is
yeah.
why I love Samuel L. Jackson.
I found that funny just pulling up that topic since we talked about sex for all on the podcast. But like, you know, so basically comic book characters, they want to treat them like they're not human beings, but they are. But it's just like that's where your line is fucking drawn. Is Batman can't go down a Catwoman, but he can be married to her. He can have fucking sex. He can have kids.
That shows right
He has
there.
with Catwoman in comics and TV
And
shows.
he have a superhero offspring known as the Huntress.
Yeah.
With Catwoman.
Yes. And
he has a son who is like the 4th or 5th or 20th Robin.
Damian Wayne.
With-
Yep.
What the fuck's her name?
Talia.
Talia
Al Ghul.
Ghul. And that just shows right there that even though everybody and their mama loves to have WWE in the sheets, it's like it's still considered taboo and very misunderstood.
But that's over here. Other countries don't deal with this shit. Like especially like
True.
you see in anime. Anime has fucking like different animes. There's sex all the
yeah.
fucking time in anime. Like they don't.
Anime,
that's
and then there's
kind of Japan
hentai.
specifically. Indian's much more conservative.
Yeah.
Europe is a little more.
But then again, other countries they also have like India. They have like one man has like 7 or 8 wives.
Mhm.
So how conservative are you if you got fucking 6 wives?
Yeah,
You
well,
know?
that's like different religion. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Really correlate with
And
what
they
they
worship
put in the
cows.
media.
Right.
Like even Bollywood's pretty like
Risque.
yeah, well,
Poly-
like it's
poly,
religious
yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
And poly, I mean.
So
Polyamory.
Thank you.
Poly-
Thank you.
so
Polyamorous.
this will eventually
My polyamorous
this
friend.
kind of scares
We
me.
all
Like,
have that
In
one.
a mess of trouble
this kind of scares me.
again.
It's like, you know, this will happen to humans one day. But, you know, this is science because scientists are doing shit because why not? They can.
'Cause
But-
why not?
Yeah, right now, scientists, what they've been doing is they're implanting false memories into the brains of sleeping mice. Now, mind you, they're doing this into sleeping mice right now.
Mhm.
They found ways to actually fucking put artificial memories into the brain of a mouse.
That's scary.
So right now, so that we're looking at what's going to happen in 5 and 10 years from now when they start advancing onto bigger animals like humans, for example.
Mhm.
So, of course, now this is what we keep laughing about America. This doesn't happen in America because why would it for? You notice it's like all of our technological advances, scientific advances, nothing happens in America anymore. This is happening in France, of all fucking places.
Wonderful.
But they're using electrodes to directly stimulate and record the activity of nerve cells. They created artificial associative memories that persisted while the animals were sleeping and then influenced their behavior when they awoke. So these mice would wake up and actually have memories that were implanted into their fucking dreams. So for, you know, argument's sake, imagine any of us here, you went to bed, right? And somebody put a fucking memory into your head while you're sleeping, you woke up, and that memory was as real as like what happened to you yesterday. And
That
shit.
makes me sad.
Even though
That's like
and it's an
basically
artificial
making
memory.
you a schizophrenic. Like, what
Yeah,
the
because
hell?
Exactly, yeah.
we have an intuition and precognition that let us know what's our memories and what's not.
But I
So,
feel
yeah,
like
I
you
can
would have
see
to have
that.
like I don't know, a highly fragmented
There
brain.
was
I mean,
some
everyone's
kind of
brain is
movie
fragmented.
Where it was like
but-
someone who had like someone else's memories in them.
There's numerous of them, but the one I think you're talking about, are you talking about the one with Kevin Bacon or
No.
I have past lives memories. Maybe they're already doing it to us, and that's just an implant.
No.
or reincarnation?
I mean, I do believe in reincarnation.
Me too.
I think it's just weird that we would only be born on Earth once and never be able to experience the 3D physical dimension ever again. Like, you just die and you can never come
I
back.
honestly think
I
that's
think that's
where
really weird for that.
agree, and I
See,
think
I think deja vu is a real thing.
that,
Yeah.
and I also think that no matter what walk of life you are or spiritual practice you are, that's why I believe in some formality that there might be, another life after this, heaven, hell. Not to get all biblical or nothing, but like kind of like if you did your thing or whatever in whatever part of those spiritual, events, you end up earning a way back into this world, but in a different format or vessel or whatever. But you get to carry all the memories from previous events. And you like, wait a minute. Like, for some reason, I can remember I was over here on Quill Street before. Like, what the hell?
Well, yeah, I am. Science says what we're first taught in science is energy can't be made nor destroyed.
Yeah, absolutely.
It can only be transferred or transformed, and that's pretty much everything that.
I think that's where the Phoenix complex or the Phoenix theory comes from, where energy is infinite, and like you said, it's not destroyed, created, but it tends to
that
be
makes
reborn.
Me think of Jack at the end of freaking Supernatural.
Absolutely. But also his upbringing too. Even though he was supposed to be the Antichrist, he didn't just get raised to do good.
He wasn't supposed to be the Antichrist. He was the Nephilim. There was an Antichrist, but they never showed him again.
Agreed.
So it's a very long article. I'm trying to summarize it. They're saying that overall the study involved implanting, recording, and stimulating electrodes directly into the animals' brains, which is highly invasive. It's therefore unlikely that this method would ever be used in humans right now, except under very special circumstances. So in other words, it can be done in humans. So it says
they're probably thinking of how to re-stimulate
what they're trying to say is
someone with dementia or
Alzheimer's. Trying to help people who have epilepsy. That's what they're saying. They're trying to. But this is saying even so, other work, most notably that of psychologist Beth Loftus, shows that false memories can be implanted into the human brain without the use of sophisticated technology. In one recent study, 3/4 of participants reported having rich false memories of a crime they did not commit. So that's scary. Imagine waking up and you had a memory of a crime you didn't even fucking do.
You can easily be framed.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, I did it. I feel guilty. I'm so sorry.
Research shows
because of the nervousness, but it don't mean they go by fingerprints, statistics, if it lines up or not. You could be like,
the person already admits it. They would rather just close the case and do even more digging if the person's just going to take it out.
You could be like, oh, I'm making some bacon and eggs. Oh, shove the broom up somebody's ass and they die. Like,
so they're saying that research
how was I there?
That stress and sleep deprivation can make people more susceptible to false memories. And this has major implications for the use of so-called enhanced interrogation techniques. So, but so it's just like anything, this is, could be the pessimistic part, but whenever, how many fucking movies
they're going to use that for enhanced interrogation techniques. What's that supposed to mean? Oh, you didn't do it? How about now, after I plant this memory that you did do it
in your head?
That's
how is that?
That's where belief in knowing comes in.
Yeah, so
belief versus knowing.
Boy, scary shit. Actually,
very scary.
On a similar fucking thing, because I love reading shit like this, because
I hate when he finds these ones.
Yeah. Well, because this is like,
where are the fun ones where? So this guy shit himself as he fell out of a roller coaster today.
Well, I mean,
such fun.
That I could see.
It's so much fun knowing about
Great Escape.
One day someone could be putting false memories.
What happened to Big now?
Yeah. How was that ride, Mister?
Here's a good one.
Actually, Big wouldn't have been falling out of the ride. He would have been too stuck in the ride shitting himself.
Well, check this out. Actually,
Sorry, I know he is your uncle, but.
So, because me and Salena have been watching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Oh, I love that show, man.
So,
it's so much better watching it as an adult than as a kid, because, you kind of just care about the cartoon and objectifying the cartoon characters.
So,
I think as a cartoon or an anime, as a kid, you like how awesome it looks or feels, but when you get older, you start to appreciate more of the writing and
the storyline aspect more.
So as well as the awesomeness and ass kicking that may or may not be involved.
Yeah. Well, my favorite part about Full Metal Alchemist is it really revolves around taboo.
Yeah.
And doing the most taboo, and that's and that feeling of regret from doing this. I don't know, it's just such a huge metaphor about how we all do that to ourselves, kind of
mind over matter.
Yeah.
we do like such self-sabotaging things and not really realize it. And I don't know. It's such a good anime.
I brought up Alchemist because
very true.
Here's the article says, first monkey/human embryos reignite debate over hybrid animals. The chimeras lived up to 19 days, but some scientists question the need for such research. Right. So they're actually creating embryos that have monkey and human DNA, which why not?
Making hybrids.
Frieza would not like that shit.
Yeah. So, boy, in the work, let's see.
Why are we trying to create the Saiyan race?
I mean, I honestly believe all this stuff has been done already. Like, for it to be an article now, this must have been studied for years before somebody was like, all right, I feel confident enough in my research to have it be publicized.
The team, this team injected monkey embryos with human stem cells and watched them develop. They observed human and monkey cells divide and grow together in a dish, which at least 3 embryos surviving for 19 days. The overall message is that every embryo contained human cells that proliferate and differentiate to a different extent. So
just don't put these people out in front of a full moon.
They hope that some human animal hybrids known as chimeras could provide better models into which to test drugs and be used to grow human organs for transplants. Members of this research were first shown to this in 2019. They could grow monkey embryos and also pig embryos and human cells, cow embryos with human cells, and rat embryos with mouse cells. So,
Saiyans and splinters.
Basically, what they're saying is like, from what I'm gathering, this entire topic is just like, okay, we come down to this, like, if people need an organ transplant, okay, they've been trying to grow artificial organs, whether it's a heart, liver, anything and stuff into a lab. Right. Oftentimes, they want a fucking failing. So what they're trying to do is if they can grow human stem cells inside of a monkey, if they can grow an extra human heart, liver, etc., when it's time for like Salena, Susan, Lewis, any of us to get a liver, they would just basically kill the monkey and take out the fucking human liver that's grown inside the monkey. Mm-hmm. That's because
maybe they're just trying to create the Saiyan race.
Maybe, yeah.
Stop reading my mind, Susan.
Earth is going to become known as Planet Vegeta.
I'm just curious about like the embryos, like specifically because it's got to be different if it was like a human male and a monkey woman embryo versus like a human woman and a male.
I see what you're getting at, Salena. There's definitely some interesting.
I wonder like how that would happen, like how it would look. I want to know what these things look like now. It's very creepy.
Yeah. I mean, I guess what they're just trying to say is like, well, I mean, from a moral standpoint, it's like, if you needed, how many people die every year because there's not enough organ transplants, whether it's like liver, hearts, et cetera, et cetera. Right. So from their aspect, it's like they'd rather grow a monkey, a full ape or something that's alive, and as much as it sucks to kill the animal, if you kill the monkey and it
just don't name it.
It's just like this is going to come to like
naming it gives it an identity.
It's going to become more and more questions where it's like if you have a fully in a
that's why I could never eat LaRue.
He has a name. A fully grown baboon or something. It's like you want killing the fucking monkey but harvesting the fucking organs and shit. So, but I just like as watching enough fucking horror movies as it is, like I don't see anything good coming of this from fucking splicing human and monkey DNA and shit in embryos. Like it's
you ever saw the movie Splicing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Splice was interesting.
Or even better, Species.
Yeah.
That movie was crazy.
That was alien, but
pretty much.
Splice was actually human DNA. So
yeah, you're right. Boy. Species was alien with ass and hips that killed people.
It's just more science, and like anything too. Like I think they would say questions like, "Well, why are we doing this for?" Sometimes it's because they can. It's like, but I'm sure they're gonna at some point. You're gonna see some kind of fucking ape human hybrid walking around, like Yeah,
well, aliens are real. Like, I 110,000% believe in it at that point. There's too many people in power that like said so.
What they've even people have theorized and conspiracy theory and whatever. Are humans actually native to this planet? I mean, are humans aliens? Compared to like other species on this fucking planet, are we the aliens and like the fucking crocodiles and stuff too, and like the seagulls and fish? Like they've proven alligators and crocodiles have been around since the dinosaurs.
Yes, they have.
They have been. We haven't.
Right.
It's like how really old are humans? Dinosaurs were 65 million years ago. Humans are like, and some would say the fucking youngest race on this fucking planet. So
99% of all species that existed on Earth are extinct.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's true.
Like really 1%.
But did human beings evolved, or were we dropped here by some benevolent force or something?
Yeah, well, that is a theory that what are the Anunnaki, or is an ancient giant extraterrestrial race that came to Earth to harvest gold, because apparently gold is an important metal and stuff for their technology. And they got tired of digging for gold, so they created a hybrid race on this planet.
Was that from the show Ancient Aliens?
Yeah, Ancient Aliens, as well as a book.
Yeah.
I haven't watched a little bit. My mother,
wasn't from the same guy.
Mom and Christian spend their Friday nights. Mom and Christian will watch Ancient Aliens for hours and hours a day. That's like their show together. And like I've only watched little tidbits, but that show is very popular.
I mean, I find it interesting, but then I also like.
Oh, your mom's watched that for years.
The other side of it is the Egyptians who live there, take it as an insult because like that's their people. They believe their people made that, and it's. Also, like a lot of, what do you call it, graffiti are at the top of these pyramids that are, supposedly from the workers of the pyramid. So people did create the pyramids. Yeah. But yeah, there are extraterrestrial and so many mysteries.
I listened to Joe Rogan had this one guy, I forgot, said I got to catch up on his podcast sometime, but he did have this guy was breaking down the Egyptians, and he was saying how it's physically impossible that humans back then couldn't have created the pyramids. Like he was saying like how humans back then had chicken fucking bones, and they had basic fucking basic like strings and stuff, and some of these to this day, he goes, some modern technology couldn't lift these rocks that weighed hundreds of tons. He goes,
that reminds me though of Coral City in Florida,
Easter Island.
Have you ever heard of it? It's basically, I forget who invented it. I'm about to look it up right now. Coral City, it was founded by George Merrick, which I forget, I think he was from like a Spanish country or something. But it's a beautiful thing made out of all different shapes that are put in like impossible structures. Like, yeah. But it's basically all off of math, and he never gave away like what his secret was, but he was able to balance all these different things on top of each other. I'll show you. And it's like what seems impossible in certain ways, but that is a theory that whatever this guy knew, maybe the Egyptians knew. Like there is a perfect math, like you can balance like whatever, a circle on top of a point. Yeah. There is a perfect like algorithm to place it on top of that point, and it won't tip at all. Yeah. So everything has that. So maybe, who knows, if something like that existed back then.
And she pulls it up. I found this funny because after I listened to the last podcast and Carlton was mentioning like Jeff Bezos and stuff and Amazon and like it's like, I've talked about this before, that Amazon has become, especially the past year with COVID, a lot of controversy and a lot of investigations and stuff. But this came out that's saying, okay, Amazon tracks warehouse workers' every move because Jeff Bezos thinks people are inherently lazy. So, let's see. So this coming from...
I mean, like, I believe that too, but do you blame them? They're a goddamn Amazon worker.
I mean, so this is coming from David Nykirk. He helped design the company's warehouse management system. Told Yahoo News that Jeff Bezos said they're lazy, and he helped shape the policies. Bezos believed that workers' desire to perform well decreased over time, and that an entrenched workforce was a march to mediocrity. What he would say is that our nature as humans is to expend as little energy as possible to get what we want or need. He pointed to a short-term employment model that doesn't provide employees many opportunities for advancement, and to the way Amazon used technology to keep workers on task. Amazon doesn't guarantee wage increases after a worker's first 3 years as a way to oust employees who might become too comfortable at Amazon or turn disgruntled. The practices that he described are some of the company's most contentious, like they would fire employees for a single day of low productivity, and continuously keeping workers on task with limited break time and high productivity goals.
Oh, that's annoying.
The practices have left many workers feeling as if Amazon treats them more like machines than people.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. It's like they want them to be robots.
It's like, we are human beings, an employee wrote on a warehouse's internal feedback board last year. That told New York Times, we are not tools to reach the daily and weekly goals and rates. Amazon's culture and high expectations for employees have also made the company a leader in workplace injuries. Earlier this month, the Washington Post published an analysis of data from the OSHA standards saying that Amazon warehouse workers were twice as likely to be seriously injured as companies such as Walmart. In April, Jeff Bezos said that the company was working to do a better job for our employees. Yeah, right. So This Amazon's been going through like, you keep reading these things about Jeff Bezos is worth $1 trillion fucking dollars. The company is worth so much money, but how are their fucking employees being treated right now? Because like I know for a fact, like people need a fucking half-hour lunch. They need a bathroom fucking break, and I don't know what I don't know what the company policies are, but like they've been coming under a lot of fucking scrutiny. And for Jeff Bezos to say, well, people are kind of fucking lazy, well, it's like, dude, are they? Aren't they? I don't know. I mean, it's like there's unions exist and warehouses exist and breaks and stuff and policies exist for a fucking reason. People, we're not fucking robots.
Absolutely.
Some scary shit.
Yeah.
But Jeff Bezos says we're all fucking lazy.
Except for him.
Of course not. Yeah.
He's too busy enjoying his billionaire life.
Well, he's also flying to fucking space right now. So
doing all that hard work in space.
Yeah, well, I told Salena actually there's been a funny thing on Twitter. I've heard you guys heard about Jeff Bezos flying to space right now. They had a petition. They've had over 65,000 people have signed a petition for Jeff Bezos not to return to Earth.
Wow.
But I seen the whole fucking thing. Basically, he comes into this bullshit little space rocket like the size of your fucking car. They fly into the upper atmosphere of space. And when the fucking capsule collapses, they actually have to parachute back down to fucking Earth. It's like a 12-hour flight or something. So he's not like going to space in a sense, but you are going to space. But it's just like but people are paying like millions of fucking dollars. Like, somebody fucking won a bid for like some insane amount of money, like $20 million to like hang out with Jeff Bezos and fly to space for a couple hours and come back to Earth. Like, what? Jesus Christ, man. So, yeah. So Jeff says you're all fucking lazy. Let's see. So, I'll try to post some funny New York Post topics. You guys want to talk for a minute?
Yeah. I want to go smoke this weed. Don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah.
Be right back.
Step out with her too.
Let me pause this then. Let me and Lewis take a break and bullshit because it's like COVID, Black Lives Matter, COVID.
I actually have a couple of
Christ.
things that are like saved. If you want, I can read those.
Yeah, I want to pull up this real quick because just like because this for me just hits close to home because I have a 14-year-old, but like we've all been kids and teenagers. Just the things we did at 12 and 13 and 14, but good old goddamn Florida. But there's a video of they call them baby-faced bandits opened fire on Florida cops. So it was a 14-year-old and a 12-year-old boy and girl. They had an AK-47 and a shotgun, and they were firing at cops. And the cops, they struck one of the deputies. But the female has a shotgun in her hand. Wow. Said, stand by, said the sheriff's deputy. Put the gun down, the shot rings out. They're shooting at me. Let's see. The teen girl is hit with a return fire from the officers as she steps out of the house with the shotgun and is heard shrieking in pain. I think the female is down. The footage then shows the boy surrendering and being taken into custody. So the boy was 14. So the girl's 14. The boy is 12. She was taken to a local hospital with life-threatening injuries and was listed in stable condition in Thursday after undergoing surgery. The boy made his first court appearance. During the virtual appearance, a judge ordered the preteen, who is represented by public defender, to be held in secure detention for 21 days. Wow. So they're charged with armed burglary and attempted murder of law enforcement officers. Jesus. Yeah. They broke out of the children's group home Tuesday and broke into a house. The house was empty, but the youngsters found guns inside and opened fire on responding deputies, holding them at bay for 35 minutes. So, wow.
Yeah. No
deputies were wounded. But the officers involved were put on leave, and so just imagine being fucking a Christian. I can't fathom Christian picking up a shotgun and fucking holding cops off bay. Right. And of course, being Twitter what it is, read and hear the fucking comments. If this was two black kids, here comes fucking Twitter for you. Like, this is why black people say because it's two white kids and shit. Because that's all that matters is like the fact that it's two teenage white kids and stuff. I'm like, well, the cops didn't kill them because they were white. If they were black, they would have murdered them and shit. But I'm just looking at like, why is a 14-year-old and 12-year-old opening fucking with AK-47 and a shotgun, firing at cops for it? That's what should matter. But to never read the comment sections for situations like this because if these are two, it's like, oh my god, this is
here's the thing that a lot of people don't really. It's like there's so many factors when it comes to racism, and most part it is systematic at this point.
Very.
But one thing that I didn't really know about this country either is, because I'm a city girl, is outside this city is mostly rural. Most of this country is rural.
Yeah, goodness.
And, most of this country is white. And the majority of people in power are white. Furthermore, that's pretty much the problem that most people can agree with, no matter who you are, because we all live in this country. But my thing is, I feel like it gets too much about race when people fail to realize when we are talking about systematic racism is that those two white kids, what area are they in? Are they in a rich area? Where most rich areas are, or are they in a poor area? I feel like that is a major factor because most crime do take place in poor areas. So I feel like that should be a factor. And if it was in a poor area, it probably would be talked about. Different. And then there's also, because, I have anecdotal evidence. A couple months ago, a cop shot at a mother and her baby in Utica, New York. That's and they were both white, and it shouldn't, matter. But it was probably in a poor area of Utica is the case. And I do feel like that it is... There is racism in the judicial system, and there are racist cops. I'm not saying that isn't the case. No. And I do believe that, the reason why most black people are targeted is because they are systematically made to be poor, and more poor people create crime. And I also feel like there are a lot of circumstances where the person just so happens to be white and the other person just so happens to be black. Yeah. I feel like that is also just as much as the case.
Well, reading through the comment section, which makes laugh, is this shows often how people never actually read articles headlines, because you see shit like this guy's like, oh, police pull up to an unarmed black man and he's shot dead in 2 seconds, yet two babyface bands survive after shooting AK-47s. This is why Black Lives Matter. And people are like, the girl actually was shot multiple times and rushed to the hospital and almost fucking died. Yeah. The boy fucking dropped the gun, put his hands up, and went down to the ground. And people were just saying too, it's like these also are a 14-year-old and 12-year-old. That's what matters. But
right, they're kids.
But then you read the comments like, well, if these are 2 black kids, they would have been shot. No, they actually shot the girl because she had a fucking shotgun and was trying to kill the fucking cops. But again, read the article, asshole. The girl was shot. So it's like when you read the fuck comments like, oh, well, these are black kids. No, the cops shot the girl. They almost killed her, But
it was attempted murder.
Yeah, and both kids are being fucking charged accordingly. It's like, but that's Twitter fucking for you. So it's just like, but it's like anything nowadays. All I seen was 2 fuck kids, whether these kids were white or black or Hispanic or Latino. Why is a 14-year-old, 12-year-old shooting at fucking cops?
Yeah, and in that circumstances, what are you trying to imply? What are you want to say? Did you want these cops to shoot at this person? And those circumstances, a cop should never ever shoot at a kid. You know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like there's a way to handle certain situations, and some cops shouldn't be cops. Agreed. Not saying that there aren't. Not all cops are bad. I'm pretty sure there are very good, passionate cops, but it's also an American statistic that 7 out of 10 people don't really like their jobs, and the only reason why they're going is for a paycheck. That's 7 out of 10 teachers, 7 out of 10 cops, 7 out of 10 doctors who are basically going to the job just for a paycheck. And I believe that too, because I'm also in that statistic.
That's a scary situation. That's I would want to fucking be a cop. If I went to work today and got ready, got a fucking call, and I pull up to a house, and a 14-year-old has an AK-47 is shooting at me, do I just say, hey, listen, kill me, please? Or
no, it's like a monkey with a grenade. Yeah, it's like freaking but then tranquilize that child. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure.
So you put the fucking kid down, and of course, here's the Twitter and social media narrative. Well, if the kids were a different color, because that's what's in fucking important, not the fact that a 12-year-old had an AK-47.
Yeah.
Fuck's sakes. So, yeah.
But it goes to both sides because it's like, that just goes to show how stupid people are in this day and age, where it's like they go directly towards the race,
or people read
factor rather than
they read headlines, not the actual article. Like, well, why wasn't a girl shot? She was. Read the article, asshole. So obviously, all you seen was 12-year-old, and most people on fuck social media, what they see is 2 white kids. They don't read the fact that one of the white kids was actually shot and almost fucking died. Yeah. But you leave that part out though.
I mean, generally, if you just said, 2 children, one was 12, one was 14, and one of them wound up getting shot because they were shooting at the police, it doesn't matter. the moment you add the race into it of
Right,
like who or what it is,
because guaranteed,
that's where it becomes.
If this was a fucking 12-year-old and 14-year-old, two black fucking kids, holy shit! You would have this happened 2 weeks ago. You would have fucking heard about this. Your phone would have been blown up every fucking 4 seconds if this was a fucking black kid.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know. I guess I just because the whole thing, this was never a thing, and I guess the only reason why it annoys people now is because it's a thing. You know, everybody gets annoyed. But back in the day, you know, black people were slaves. Like, I never had an ancestor or a grandmother who was a slave and who, you know, had to be forced to do labor for somebody and was, like, raped. Or I never had, like, you know, they would fucking throw black babies at alligators. Like, and this happened in our country. Like, that was a thing. To an extent, I try to be as objective as possible. Right. Yeah. But there does come to an extent where you're just projecting. And that's what sucks. Like,
and that's what people are doing now. And it's like,
there's two sides of the coin.
It's like, you know, it's terrible what happened years ago. It is. It's horrible. Our history does suck. But when you try and erase, like, what that history was, the moment you try to erase it, that's just asking it to, like, reoccur.
Right.
In some way, shape, or form.
Well, it's funny that Salena mentioned that because this has been an ongoing thing in my lifetime and it still keeps happening. And actually, to piggyback what Salena said, a different article, because I would love people's, not even just us, other people's opinions about this. When California Task Force holds their first meeting to study reparations for slave descendants. Mm-hmm. Now, I would love these guys to explain to me. So, Lewis, if you found out, you know, your grandfather 5, 10, 6 generations down was a slave, right? So, what do you deserve? Do you deserve $1 million, $10 million, $50 million fucking dollars? What kind of reparations do you give somebody that's their ancestors are 200 or 300 fucking years later? The argument's sake, if you have like grandfather, grandmother that were slaves, what in 2021? What kind of compensation do we give you?
I mean, that's question. Kind of a stretch. I don't think it's.
Well, this is what they're talking about, though. A California task force.
Segregation wasn't that long ago either. Like Martin Luther King's daughter is still alive.
But the task force, though, is what they're trying to give is Black Americans reparations for slaves. And I remember
they gave that to Japanese Americans. That's what they claim too. Japanese Americans got that. So.
What did they get it for?
For after. What was it?
During World War II, they were put into camps to, like, try and, like, determine, like, what Japanese people were here because they wanted to be here and what Japanese people were here as, like, infiltrating the United States.
Yeah, thank you, Susan. After the bombing of Pearl Harbor, there was a lot of racism against Japanese Americans. So they did basically concentration camps to them. And after all that, they
were like concentration camps, but they weren't concentration camps. Like, they weren't being, like, slaughtered by, like, the millions the way the... Jewish people and other people of like
and black people
over in Germany.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but they're talking about like, you know, suppose if reparations were to happen, like, okay, so how do you put a monetary value on something that happened 200 or 300 years ago? Well, it's like I said, like you know,
I don't know. I mean, I feel like you are a partially Native American. You deserve reparation. Like, I definitely agree with that.
What's I'm saying? So, like, what? Like, okay, even take away black people.
But then also, like, how many black people? Because we all know, like, most people, they are mixed with everything. Most black people are mixed with, a lot of black people do have white genetics going back and back and back.
That's very true.
Right. So how do you, like, determine it? It's like, okay, well, you have one part of your genealogy says, like, you were a slave, but another part of your genealogy says that
you're a slave owner.
You are a slave owner.
That's interesting, but I feel like those people are more likely should get that because that means that their ancestor was raped.
Like
maybe, or maybe like,
or maybe she wanted it.
Not even saying that she wanted it, because there were some slave owners that treated their slaves better than most people nowadays treat their kids.
Yeah. Well, like
there was field slaves and house slaves.
They were good slave owners. There's good slave owners out there.
But if technically speaking, if we're going to give reparations to fuck American Indians, that means everybody who's not American Indian, if you want to get reparations, then I'd say most of this country needs to get the fuck out of this country. And why don't we just give this entire continent back to American Indians, and everybody who is an American Indian, you need to leave this country. How would that come over? So that's what I'm saying.
I mean, that's really not. I mean,
in terms of reparation, if we want to take what's fair, right? Basically, Native Americans had this entire continent to themselves. So reparations would be like give them the entire continent back.
Yeah.
So how would that go over?
I mean,
so now retrospect. Now we're talking about
no
black
offense,
people.
but you can't get me out now.
Okay,
I mean, I wouldn't mind going back to
exactly.
Puerto Rico.
But
I mean, I don't really think that equates to what African Americans are asking for, or it equates to what Japanese Americans.
Yeah, what I'm saying is what reparations. What I'm saying, but the reparations. How do you give somebody compensation for, again, if your great whatever grandfather was a slave? Do you give Lewis $10 million, $50 million? Fucking like how does anybody determine what the fucking value of?
Oh yeah, I have no idea what the value is, but I feel like maybe something is better than nothing. And,
that's me.
You know,
and of course comes down to then whose money. So does it come out of my paycheck, your paycheck, Susan's paycheck?
Yeah, I mean, there's already trillions of dollars. There's already trillions of dollars of like tax money. We have no idea where we're going to. That's honestly the least of my problems. What African Americans want. I'm more concerned with what kind of like creepy government shit is going on with the rest of my tax money.
That's why but overall, the fact that we're still talking about this thing in 2021, because it's one of the situations where you can't fucking put any value on human life. It's like in your lifetime, my lifetime, Susan's lifetime, right? Say for instance, argument's sake, you work a job, right? What if you gross $10 million, but Susan grosses $1 million, but Lewis grosses $500,000? What is human life? So that's why I would ask these people, okay, we want to give reparations to Lewis for his ancestors. Okay, what was his ancestors worth? And on top of two, then also look at the currency of America in 1776 versus 2021. So it's like,
the value of the dollars.
So is it compensation to give every black person in this country, like, because people were told coming to this country, you were like, what was it, like 10 acres and a goat? That was fucking what you were told they're coming to America. So do we give every black person 10 acres and a goat in 2021? Like,
who knows?
As I say,
I don't know. I honestly, fact that this is in California, that's not my forte.
But the fact that they're having a task force right now, 2 weeks ago in California, to actually discuss reparations to
that just infuriates you.
It's not for me. I'm just like, I would ask these people, like, but what is the compensation? Considering our country already is trillions of dollars in fucking debt, and you want to put us even fucking more in debt. But like I said, I would ask a question like, if you want to give them recompense. But what is recompense? Is it monetary? Is it land? Is it titles?
I feel like that is really the least of our problems right now.
Well, the fact
is like the reparations. I mean, like, I'm not African American, so I honestly, no offense, could care less. I mean, if I'm hearing more like Lewis's take on it. I don't know if you had, if you know what your ancestors were like, but I know my ancestors came from Germany and Puerto Rico. But
my ancestors came from here, Africa, China, and Ireland.
Right. But you don't know if like one of them was an African American slave.
Yeah. And also,
I wouldn't mind looking into it if I had a chance.
And how would he even know that? So who I
mean, some people do know that.
So no, but
there's ways to prove it.
But this is a news article popped up for a task force, because you mentioned fucking slavery. Like, this is still going on to the States. Like, okay, I'm just saying, if you want to give them recompense, like, but I just ask, like, what is it though? And that's I'm asking. Yeah. So, I mean, people have been. It's like, like I said, fucking reading the comments fucking section, which, some of these people, they're not fucking wrong when they say, like, you want people to pay for something like. Reparations for people that were never slaves, pay for people that never owned slaves. If my ancestors never owned fucking slaves, why am I gonna my tax dollars go to?
True. My ancestors are immigrants and stuff. So
yeah. And then
but the thing is, there's also trillions of dollars of our government money that we don't even know where it's going. Like, that is more my big concern. I would rather have our government spend money wisely to the point where like we wouldn't feel so poor where we would have to care that like. Africans Americans would want reparations because their great grandmother was a slave. I don't know. If my great grandmother was a slave, I would feel some type of way personally.
That's what I'm saying. So I would say, like, because my father's Mohawk Indian, obviously my entire my generation. So Mohawks were dominant in New York State. So I would say, okay, then everybody who's not Mohawk Indian, get the fuck out of the state and see how that goes over. Right. From Canada down to New York City, everybody who's not Mohawk Indian.
I get that, but asking people to leave the country doesn't equal like reparations. I mean, I get that point. Yeah. I mean, like, I wish, like, like,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, whatever happens,
that something like that kind of justice would be able to happen and be okay for everybody.
Yeah,
but well, that's what I'm saying. I feel like there's a way to compromise.
Well, there's what I'm saying, but there's just people nowadays, like your ancestor, Susan's ancestors, Lewis's mine, because I'm obviously fuck half and half. But the thing is, like, but that's the point. Like, if you lived in New York State your entire life, how would it be fair to you that something that happened to white people, Native Americans, has nothing to do with you whatsoever. So why should you have to leave this fucking state for something that you had nothing to do with?
No, yeah, I get that. I wouldn't want to leave the state. Give them money would be something different, though. It's like if you sue somebody for pain and suffering, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's a thing. They want to, and, you know, we just pay them off for pay. Maybe there's nothing that can equate to that. There is no price to a human life. You know, maybe $3,000 isn't enough, but it's more something like an atonement that
almost
African Americans want, but they should be able to prove that, you know, their ancestors did suffer.
Watch The Fucking Boys, right? Huey's girlfriend gets killed. Here's a check. Here's a check for $30,000. Wow, you murdered my girlfriend. Here's a check for $30,000. I feel better. You know, because it's like what do you put a fucking, you know, a price tag in someone's life?
Yeah.
Okay, now in American Indians' fucking situation, you've wiped out a nationality of people to extinction.
Right.
So
there's no way to atone. There's no way to atone. But you guys would at least want something. I don't know.
Yeah, but so it's like going with black people and stuff too. What you did to their ancestors was fucking barbaric beyond belief. So how do you recompense that? Like I said, there's task force that are going on to like, well, we have to give them reparations. I'm like, okay. So how do you repair them for stealing their fucking ancestors? Technically speaking, if you want to repair them, you chip them all back to where the fuck they came from. Because what you did was you stole them from their fucking homeland, which is Africa. So technically speaking, if you want to make a recompense, you would, every person who's black in this country, ship them back to fuck Africa. If you want to be technical about it, because you stole them from their home.
I mean,
land.
I'm not trying to,
you know,
be technical. I'm just giving my opinion. I don't think just because, you know, we give African Americans money for slavery that we should freaking just start doing crazy stuff like that. I mean, I don't think it's irrational for African Americans. I didn't think it was irrational for Japanese Americans to get reparations. What they went through was pretty bad. I don't think, like, you know, just because I can't have it, somebody else can. That's a crab in the bucket mentality is what I was searching for. That's why I don't really like Facebook sometimes, because there's such a toxic crab in the bucket mentality. If you put a bunch of crabs in a bucket, they will get scared and try to reach to the top. Yeah. But once they get to the top, the other crabs will pull them down because they're trying to survive, and they know if that crab leaves, then they won't be able to climb on top of other crabs and go. So all the crabs are pulling each other down, basically killing each other. And that's kind of what the vibe I get sometimes on Facebook is. Some people just have like that crab in the bucket. Like, if I can't have it, you can't, or if I can't have this attention, you can't. And sometimes it's so annoying. Like, you can spot a fake friend after, like, because you can just see like a passive aggressive comment following up after yours. Yeah. And like, maybe I am overthinking it, but it's just like I only have so many like people I pay attention to, you know. But
honestly, it was just, you know, a news article I pulled up because it's been in discussion for the longest time period. I'm like, maybe in our lifetimes, our kids' lifetimes, they'll find a solution for it. I'm just like, we'll see what it's going to be. I don't know. Is it because there's still plenty of parts of this country that there's plenty of we've seen this ourselves. How much land out there is untapped land? Maybe it's like, maybe give people land or something. I don't know. Give them titles.
Yeah, there's 7 empty houses for like every homeless person in America, or like every person in America, I think.
Well, we're coming up on 2 hours. I figured I'll pull this last one up because this will make you happy. Because I just found this funny. But like,
let's end on a good note.
Well, it says Nathan's Famous Hot Dogs is adding vegan hot dogs to their menu.
Oh, snap.
So veggie hot dogs are finally coming to Nathan's Famous.
And Nathan's is a pretty good brand. So
they make very good hot dogs.
Nathan's hot dog Charlie's.
Yeah, Nathan's hot dogs.
Well, hot dog Charlie's is different than Nathan's.
Oh, yeah.
You're right. My bad.
But let's see.
I thought they were the same thing. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah, no, it's different. Oh, well, I mean, I think Nathan's are just more bigger and stuff, but it's different.
That just sounded so wrong.
They are bigger though. They're bigger and thicker.
That sounded fucking wrong. Nathan's are more bigger. I'm like, what?
Let's see. The Nathan's Meatless Farm Hot Dog has Nathan's proprietary spice blend and is being dubbed a gourmet version of the meaty dogs. Ooh. It's not just aimed at flexitarian, vegetarian, and vegan customers, but at all who enjoy a healthier diet. The president of Nathan's Famous Hot Dogs was saying, "We've spent a great deal of time perfecting this hot dog and making sure that those who know and love Nathan's one-of-a-kind flavor, as well as those who might not have tried our hot dog due to diet, can now enjoy a diet that fits their lifestyle."
That's so awesome. Thank you, Nathan's Hot Dogs. I will definitely be trying it as a flexitarian.
So now we have Nathan's Hot Dogs has meatless dogs. So, I mean, I would try it. Why not? So, but anything because come in 2 hours, I got a bunch of news articles saved for next time, Susan. But something that you said you wanted to pull up, or
a news article.
Oh, mine were just like little like filler ones.
Oh, okay.
Any supernatural ones?
No, but I had one that was actually kind of cool. It was from like 2
Can't
months
hear you.
ago. Fuck off, Chris.
I can hear you now. At least I heard that.
There's one from actually 2 months ago that was actually kind of funny that I thought you guys might find entertaining.
Okay.
An IHOP worker turns away Adam Sandler in viral TikTok and viewers support her decision.
Yeah, she didn't know it was Adam Sandler.
An IHOP employee is expressing shock after learning that she unknowingly caused Adam Sandler to leave the restaurant after telling the Hollywood megastar that he would have to wait for a table. In a video posted to TikTok on Monday, user Diana Rodes shared surveillance footage of the moment she turned away Adam Sandler and a young woman believed to be his daughter.
Aww.
Rodes said she informed the famed actor, who she didn't recognize at the time, that he would have to wait 30 minutes for a table.
Yeah.
Sandler is seen leaving the restaurant moments later. Rodes' clip has been viewed more than 8 million times since being posted on Monday, and
that
it
gotta
is
blow
being
self-esteem.
Inundated with comments from other users. Instead of chastising Rodes for turning away the beloved celebrity, however, TikTok users are applauding her for not giving Sandler preferential treatment.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
And to my knowledge,
can't be special all the time.
To my knowledge, he wasn't mad. He just said he just didn't have a half hour. Well, most people don't have a half hour to wait, especially Sandler's got a lot of shit going on.
There were a lot of fans to read what they had wrote. One was like, I would lose respect for the restaurant that lets a celebrity go before everyone else who were waiting in line, though. User Mitz Tiang said, you did the right thing.
Yeah.
Normalize treating celebrities like regular people, another said.
Yeah.
But it isn't just Rodes receiving praise. Users are also celebrating the fact that Sandler, whose estimated net worth is around a staggering $420 million, did not use his fame to cut the line.
No. He seemed like a stand-up guy.
Like, do you know who I am?
No, he didn't pull that. He just
to go on and say, the fact he could have said, I'm Adam Sandler, and didn't is amazing. Another user added, most celebrities would use their status to get them places.
Yeah.
Users are also noting the relaxed attire of Sandler, who was known for wearing clothes like basketball shorts and sweatshirts regardless of the occasion.
Very casual, yeah.
Sandler, honestly, the way he dresses like we do. Like it's funny.
You have a Adam Sandler attire going on right
now. He's one of my favorite guys. I respect because he never seems like he flaunts it. He doesn't. He seems very low key. It's the fact that he's going to IHOP. Like the guy could go to any restaurant he wants to. He's going to IHOP.
Yeah, he brought his kid to IHOP.
He's worth $500 million and went to IHOP.
He just wants some good old classic IHOP pancakes. Simple man.
Keep it like you said, casual,
or
and humble. Imagine if he went to IHOP or McDonald's dressed as Little Nicky. You know what the hell would happen? Hey, I want a Big Mac and a number 5.
Yeah.
Well,
oh my God, it's Adam Sandler!
It's funny that Adam Sandler's been brought up because I was watching an interview with Cole Sprouse because I used to watch Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, and he also the Sprouse twins. They also played the kid in Big Daddy.
They also played Ben on Friends.
And Cole Sprouse.
Cole Sprouse played Ben on Friends.
That he really admired Adam Sandler for his ability to mix balance his life with the media.
You've never heard anything bad
admired
about him.
that from him.
Yeah. Oh. What it's been like on the side note before we cut this off, Ben Affleck, I've heard on many interviews said because he's from Boston and stuff, his dad raised him to be a very big tipper. Whenever Affleck goes out to restaurants, he's been notoriously known for he gives people way above what anybody would because he's
he's rich.
He always does. But you never heard Ben Affleck ever stiffen a fucking waiter waitress. He gives them fucking 10 times what they ever deserve because he's I grew up with that environment. So it's like I said, there are very few of them out there that actually are really good fucking people. And it's Sandler, I've yet to read anything bad about the guy. It's the fact that he went to IHOP wearing a t-shirt and a fucking bullshit $10 baseball hat and some sweatpants, and it's just no different than you or me. Hey, listen, Adam.
And he decided not to use his fame to cut in front of a ton of
I know I would have recognized Adam Sandler. And I'd be like, I'll let you cut in line if we can all have your autograph and take a picture.
Yeah. So.
Another one I found was the Flintstones reboot coming to Fox with some major changes.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
That's because all the characters are white, huh?
Wait, what?
That's exactly what it is.
What's being changed?
Straight and white.
That too. Yeah, I mean, Fred wasn't gay, which sucks, you know.
What show are we talking
Flintstones.
about?
Flintstones, meet the Flintstones.
Now him and
Just make like a different
him and Barney be sucking each other's dicks and shit. Like,
it's just the thing is, I would rather have it be more original than just like a copy of like, you know, just like how we don't like whitewashed shit.
Yeah.
Like I don't want like ethnic washed shit.
Oh, that's like hear about the fucking the Powerpuff Girls on live action just got slain. They just destroyed the Powerpuff Girls, like, because we all want a very grown up, edgier trans Powerpuff Girls that one's a lesbian and one's they just they did test screenings and they fucking people tore that shit apart. Like no one, it's like you know.
I just
so
feel like
let me continue.
Sorry, no, you can go ahead.
Fox announced a new take on the Flintstones on Tuesday that will give fans Neolithic nostalgia. The show will be called Bedrock and will star actress Elizabeth Banks. The half-hour animated comedy picks up 20 years after the original series, when the titular family was aged up and Pebbles is now the lead character.
Is she gay?
Banks will provide the voice of Pebbles Flintstone in Bedrock, which screenwriter Lindsay Kearns will pen. According to Fox, the show will find Fred Flintstone on the brink of retirement and Pebbles in her mid-20s, just getting her career started. The family will have to deal with the transition from the Stone Age to the Bronze Age, and not everyone will be equipped for the changes. Fox stressed the legacy of the Flintstones in animation sitcoms and TV in general as it pitched this project to fans.
Yeah.
Which, this is actually kind of stupid, because if you remember, they actually had Flintstones cartoons in the 90s where they did age Pebbles and Bam Bam to adulthood, had them get married, and have children.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I did look on a side note for it, and then done for night, but like some YouTube channels were talking about. So, of course, Disney is being what Disney is. They're making a new Snow White live action with a black actress.
Wait, Snow White?
Yeah, they did.
They make it Snow Black. Why not just make Snow Black?
And people,
I like how that rolled over your tongue, Snow Black.
People,
I mean, like, I'm down with it, but
that
like,
was funny.
No, people
it
on
doesn't.
Twitter,
You don't have to replace Snow White. Just make another black
everybody
princess.
on Twitter and
There's
YouTube
room
was
for
like,
more black princesses.
The character's description is skin as white as snow, and it's very
skin is brown as chocolate pudding.
If you're gonna make it a black actress, why are you gonna call it Snow White for her? And I'm literally not joking when I'm saying
her
this.
hair is supposed to be as black as a raven's feathers.
White as
Her
snow.
lips are supposed to be as red as blood.
Well, now, like,
and her skin is as white as snow.
Well, this was just fucking bombed at the box office. Now Disney is getting scared about the whole new black Ariel for the whole, like, you know, the Little Mermaid live action, because Ariel was black in the original cartoon. Like,
see, my thing is like I would respect
in the freaking what the fuck is it? The fairy tale. They only made her a redhead in the cartoon because of the fact that Splash came out the same year.
Yeah.
And we all know Splash was such a big hit in the 80s.
Yeah. What people would say is...
Wait a minute, Splash was with Daryl
Hannah.
Yep. Tom Hanks, yeah.
Yep.
He's like, I'm not fucking this fish.
Yeah, my thing is I would respect if they just, like, instead of, like, replacing Flintstone, like, make another, like, prehistoric cartoon that's, like, a black family that's made by black people. That'd be way cooler, way more original. And that's why I would respect, like, originality.
And that's why you don't work in Hollywood.
Agreed.
No, and I've seen people say that argument too with Ariel. Like, if you watch the Disney first Little Mermaid cartoon, Ariel wasn't the only mermaid in the fucking sea. There was a ton of mermaids. Some actually were black. Then if you make it about a different mermaid that isn't Ariel, if you knew that Ariel had red hair and green eyes, just take a different character. Just don't name her Ariel.
Yeah. I mean, I also just want to stress I ultimately don't care and stuff, but other than that, when it comes to, like, it being art, like, why copy? Why copy? Especially when you want to empower, like, you know,
Because most people said
the color of your skin. Why not make it even more original? Why do we have to just replace already princesses? Why can't we have more black princesses?
Yeah, like there are a ton of other fairy tales out there that can be like brought into like the Disney fold and like made.
This is why I said people say Hollywood, like, like when Fantastic Beasts 3 is kind of having problems right now. But the thing is, Harry Potter as a brand is still well known. Game of Thrones as a brand is still well known.
Still well known, yeah.
It's like the thing is, these guys, when they're out of ideas, they figure, well, you know what, then we'll still use the name Batman or Superman. But you know what? What's different this time is he's black. Or like James Bond. James Bond is now. He's gay. It's like, well, that's what they go for. It's like instead of making new characters,
that's what I like about The Boys.
Right.
The Boys is
original.
Is basically a similar universe, but they have their own characters.
Or like Invincible.
I call The Boys Justice League that needs counseling.
Well, honestly,
still badass.
That needs counseling.
But that was
dead ass.
Justice League that needs counseling is The Watchmen.
Well, I mean, but for the most part, yes.
Actually,
shows like The Boys, Invincible.
I can't argue with that, but for some reason I still see The Boys
liberties off of existing characters, but they are themselves original characters. So at least give them the credit. Like I said, Invincible is a very original fucking show. Yes, Omni-Man could be like a Superman clone in a sense, but it's still a brand new fucking character. So that way you're not destroying Superman or Batman or Aquaman. These are brand new fucking characters. Yeah. Similar, yes, but different. So like I said, it's like The Boys. The Boys, yes, everyone knows The Boys for the most part is basically a darker version of Justice League. But okay, Homelander, Superman, obviously Queen Maeve is fucking Wonder Woman, but it's not. They're not destroying Superman's legacy because it's not Superman. It's Homelander. It's a brand new fucking character.
My thing though too is like not even just like
even like Jensen. Jensen, his character is a cop. He even said too. He's a shitty Captain America. That's what he is. But he's not Captain America.
Sure.
So.
But here's the thing though too. Like you can Jason Momoa. Yeah. Momoa, yes, thank you. He's Aquaman.
I have a man crush.
But Aquaman, theoretically speaking, is supposed to be a blonde-haired, dorky-looking piece of shit.
Yeah.
Not a 6-foot-something sex god of a Samoan.
I'm not sure, I think because Momoa, the way Aquaman was written, they gave him, because Aquaman's lesser character, they kind of gave him a free pass with that.
They want him to make him cooler, and they obviously did. Like, that's one of those things I'm not mad about.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Like, if they can do it, but they can make it work, where, like, the person who's playing the character is very... It, like, entices you.
Yeah, like, if they can do an Aquaman, Jason Momoa type thing to another superhero, that's literally the expectation. That is
minimum. Where it would, like, make the most sense.
That's why when we get the YouTube channel going, I see all the damn time. I watch different YouTubers talk about this shit all the time. Like, how, like, now, was it just like, was it Robin? Now, what was it? Tim Drake. Tim Drake came out in 1989 after Jason Todd died.
Yep.
Right.
Now the new Tim Drake is going to be gay. Tim Drake is 20. He's almost 30 years old. He's never been fucking gay. Now then, when Tim Drake comes back as Robin, he's going to be gay because why not? It's like.
I mean, technically, if you want to go that route, everyone always picked on Robin to begin with as being like
that is true.
That's the reason why Batman keeps him there.
That's why not getting too nerdy. If you watch the cartoons or the fucking shows, Morgan Freeman played Lucius Fox. Lucius Fox has been a big important character in Batman's universe because he helps Batman create his tools.
Yeah.
Next year coming out, Lucius has another son. I think his name is Lucius. I forgot his current name. But he's going to be the new Batman. But thing is, he's the son of Lucius Fox. So instead of making Bruce Wayne black, making a new character, which is what they're doing, and people are fine with that. It's
which like
Bruce Wayne has blue eyes and black hair, just like Clark Kent. Clark Kent is a fucking Kansas City white boy. That's what he is. You can't make Clark Kent black. Make a new character,
Chris.
Well, like that's like for me personally, like that's why. Sorry.
No, you good. Go ahead. Do your thing.
That's why I don't think. Like certain. Remember when they did the Dark Tower?
Yes.
Shitty.
That's why
the book is good, but the movie is shit. That's why the Dark Tower did not work in the first place. Is nothing against Idris Elba. No. Amazing fucking actor. Yeah. But Roland Deschain is supposed to be a cowboy first and foremost.
With blue eyes.
With striking blue eyes, like not just blue eyes, striking blue eyes.
Yeah.
And, like I said, nothing against Idris Elba, but Idris Elba does not have striking blue eyes.
Right. I mean, I never seen that, So I guess I don't care. But I think like maybe the main problems is so like you have more attachment to it. But I think it's like idolizing something is also the problem too, because.
But like
Where's St. Louis?
But like that's the thing when you're given like this like character and they're supposed to like look a certain way and it's written out in the book like this is how they're supposed to look.
Yeah.
And
I would rather have it go by the book 110% every time. That's what I was kind of mad about Game of Thrones is how like it was
with certain characters.
Like you're like that wasn't in the book. Like I wish they did go by the book and certain.
But even Game of Thrones though, like the books and the TV shows, they had different black actors obviously and different actors with different ethnic backgrounds. Then like John Boyega who played Finn in Star Wars said, why does Game of Thrones have no black actors? And then the tweet was then they showed
Nathalie Emmanuel.
Then they showed
Anderson.
Then they showed all the black actors, and Game of Thrones tweeted back like, John, they raised their hands like, so what are we? So it's like, as usual, shut the fuck up and stop with the whole nitpicking, because Game of Thrones has a very diverse cast. So when assholes like you say, why is the entire cast of Game of Thrones white? Have you ever watched the fucking show?
It's also like a medieval too. Like they like bash skulls and stuff. Like you know what I mean? Like you should expect.
But even demographics though. Okay, in the North, what is in the fucking North? Like all the snow, you
would expect the people in the North to be white. The people in
it's a cold climate
to be like more like dark complected.
Yeah. Which they are.
They are like Oberyn Martell, Doran Martell.
Pedro Pascal is not white.
Yeah, like
Indira Varma.
Spanish looking.
Indira Varma isn't white.
And the whole Unsullied, but that's it. The desert people have obviously fucking. There's no white people in the fucking desert. They all have brown fucking hair, brown skins, based in the desert. Yeah. And up in the fucking north, in a very winter climate, you're not gonna see many fucking black folks in a fucking very winter like Norse Viking climate because their skin. It's like it's just like people were like
the Dothraki.
Yeah. So. It's just, but it's more bullshit. Like, why is Game of Thrones? And it's all the black actors on Twitter saying, have you watched the show, asshole? Yeah. There's plenty of black actors and different ethnic actors in this fucking show. Shut up and actually watch it.
Exactly.
So, what are you saying, Lewis?
I was saying was there's actually a lot of people don't notice. There's actually a black Superman in the DC comic franchise named Calvin Ellis. He's originally from the same universe as the original and known and loved Superman Clark Kent. But because they respectfully was like, all right, we already got a Defender who is known as the Man of Steel in the original universe. I'm going to go to another multiverse and be their champion. Yeah. And that's where the black Superman who left our universe went to Earth too. Yep. But I guess they said, even though he's pretty badass, I guess the storyline was trash.
Yeah, which often is, because that's become the problem, and this is getting dragging on. But like, I watch different people on YouTube and different people who read comics and stuff, and they've said this before. It's like you watch Tony Stark, Iron Man, he's white. You know, Thor obviously is fucking white. Captain America. You notice even fucking the Hulk, which is Bruce Banner, he's a fucking white character. None of their story arcs, and watch all the fucking Marvel films. They never can complain about the color of their skin because it's not part of their character because they can't and shit. Mm-hmm. But now they take every black character, whether it's Falcon or whether it's like Black Panther, but even like Luke Cage, like I watched with Supergirl, they made Jimmy Olsen fucking black, and I'm watching this show, I'm like, well, Jimmy Olsen, okay, make him black, modernize him, whatever.
In the multiverse, yes, there's a black. Jimmy
but people are saying like, why is it
known to be white?
Every time you make a black character now, at some point, their entire character arc is all about the color of their fucking skin.
Which is fucked up.
Yeah, instead of just being a good character. So it's people hate pandering.
Yeah. You know, if that's the case, Gamora needs to start complaining about the fact that she's green.
Yep.
And Nebula about the fact that she's blue.
Exactly. No, it's just like back what Salena was saying is because we're seeing it all the time. It's just like Hollywood is out of ideas.
Yeah,
that's the fucking problem. So it's like now we have to bring back Flintstones or bring back fucking Powerpuff Girls or bring back whatever. It's like no, it's like Jesus Christ.
I think it's just like a a get rich quick scheme or something. Yeah. Like there's already a fan base for this, so let's just do some shoddy anymore.
Yeah. And I'll promote him with our YouTube channel going. I follow Eric July, and Eric July's on YouTube, and Eric July is a massive comic book fan. He goes, guys, he goes, shows in the background. He's how many freaking black characters right now are in comics that you'd never heard of because you're too busy trying to fucking make Batman and Superman and Spider-Man and fucking Wolverine. You're trying to make them fucking black. He goes, I can give you a list of 50 fucking black characters that you won't put on screen because you're too busy trying to make a black Batman. Stop trying to fucking make Batman fucking black and promote Storm. Or promote fucking like Brother Voodoo.
Oh, that would be such a good one.
Or why
Storm is an amazing fucking character.
Oh my god, that'd be
Absolutely.
such. Yeah, I love
He
Storm.
always
She's my favorite
has
X-Men.
been.
Yeah. But it's like you said with DC, he's
Have her like a life story.
He's like DC and Marvel have a whole list of characters that you've never heard of because you're too busy trying to make Spider-Man black.
Yeah, like I almost forgot about Storm.
Miles Morales.
Or I said like why haven't we got we're still waiting for a Spawn sequel. Where the hell's Spawn at? It's like, and he's just
he was one of the most popular superheroes of his time.
I read the first 200 issues of fucking Spawn. I've seen that movie 20 fucking times. Like, we're still waiting. Well, they're making it, but like Blade, why did it take so long to make a new Blade? Yeah. It's like, so.
The farthest they went was a TV series and only went like 1 or 2 seasons.
And I watched all of it. It wasn't bad, for back in
it wasn't.
Yeah. So
I think the storyline was solid though, bro. I just believe if they kept it up or try to stay consistent with the Marvel universe
it was on Spike
like
TV.
That.
So Spike TV back in the 90s didn't have the biggest budget, but I like the storyline.
No, but they had a lot of great shows. Yeah. From Dusk Till Dawn, the series, Blade, the series.
That's a fuck point. There's so much out there besides just said this. They're out of ideas, so they want to just keep. They said make like the Hulk and all these characters, and so there's millions of YouTube videos talking about it. So I'm not gonna kill the whole podcast with that. But I'll save more news articles for later. Try to get some more comedy going. But as always, because it's almost midnight now, Susan's got to go to bed and stuff. Yeah, it was fun.
Time goes by fast.
No, I'm glad because I wanted to because we didn't get one out last week because of tragedy and stuff. Me and Salena went to Wake and she had to see her first Native American funeral, which didn't go that great, but she got to see one.
It was interesting.
For better and for worse, it was it was fun.
The Mohawk language is very interesting.
Yeah,
it was calming too.
Yeah, and I always try saying if you can sometimes try getting something good out of tragedy. Yes, I lost an aunt. Yes, I lost somebody that I haven't seen for a long time. Someone who meant a lot to me. But I tried making some kind of positivity. And like Salena met, my cousin Ashley, my cousin Dakota, my uncle John, my cousin Robert. She got to experience a Native American longhouse. She's never been into a longhouse in her life. She had to be into a longhouse. So it's like, sometimes you try to like.
Nice too. One thing that was I felt bad about is the Native American tradition, like for the funerals after the burial, they'll go back to the longhouse and they'll have a feast of the deceased favorite foods. And you're supposed to eat everything off your plate like every single bite. To leave food on the plate is a disrespect to the spirit.
They did that when his father passed away.
Right. And so when and you wouldn't be able to leave the longhouse if you didn't finish your plate. So I was advised to take small portions and stuff. So when we went to go get the food, due to COVID regulations, they pre-packed the food. And they were packed. And they were heavy. And all the food was touching. So, like, if you're not into that kind of stuff, that's, like, already, like, great. And there was so much different kinds of foods. That there was raspberry sauce at the bottom of it, touching everything. So all the different kinds of food had raspberry sauce on it. Chris had to eat my meat because I don't really eat meat. And, so, yeah, that was pretty painful. And I was trying to force it down. Like, I was.
So Chris does eat the meat.
Yeah, all of it, so. It was thick and salty.
So, and then I realized nobody else was really finishing their food. Yeah. And then I kind of was scarfing down all this food for no reason and, like, stuffing myself to the point of, like, nausea. And then I just threw the rest out. But I felt so bad after that. Like, shit.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's like, I lost a fucking day at work, lost some money, but, and I lost a family member, but...
Well, wait, Jen, explain that to me. When your dad passed away, isn't the food supposed to be buried in the ground with them?
This was a very unorthodox fucking funeral, but, so...
It depends on the natives tribes. Some tribes do that and some don't.
It's just like the
It's just made me hungry.
Well,
talking
his
about
dad. It was his dad's sister,
Yeah.
so it's
it was
Mohawk
said
tradition.
it wasn't. Plus, COVID's been an issue too. He said it's just like it wasn't what it should be, but it was at least something for now for her to see. Like, but I mean, saying the overall gesture was she's seeing overall what it's like. I mean, there's garbs there, there's
I
translators.
got
like,
to meet some of his family too.
yeah, so it's like it was a terrible thing, but said sometimes, like I said, on the cloudiest fucking day and when it's raining and pouring, sometimes there's a little bit of light shining through. So it's like I lost an aunt, but like Salena overall had a good experience. So,
It's just a shame that Christian couldn't go.
Yeah, so it's like everything happens the way it happens. So
yeah,
but no, so I just wanted to get a good couple hours out, put some content out there for people, and have some fun, get some laughs in, not to get too heavy. And I like Lewis's breakdown about stereotypes, and I love having Salena down more and Susan, and like we're trying to like anything. I wish Junior was here, or Carlton, or Elliot, or Al, or everybody, but like I said, I cannot control people's work schedules. That's all I can say. Like
until next time.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm glad everybody was here and I had fun.
Yeah, I had fun too.
We had to laugh about me and Salena in the dog shower.
Oh yeah.
Spread your legs open.
Just want to put this out there. I do not condone bestiality in any form. Rue has rights. I respect animal rights.
You better
don't do
his
anything
rights.
I say. All my opinions are just my opinions.
That's why he was wanting to Susan hop in the shower with me. That's why he's like,
I want to shower.
He has his nose up that cat's ass. Selena's seen that dog every day is always tossing that cat salad.
I love him though. It's so funny.
Wow.
Because Chris is always trying to sick him on me. And so like I'll go like fake beat him up too, and then Rude starts
attacking Chris.
Yeah, and I'm like ha ha ha.
Fucking traitor.
Yeah, he does that. Like Chris will walk over and he'll start like he'll look at Christian and he'll be like, and then Christian will punch him, but then LaRue starts biting him.
Yep.
I think a lot of animals don't get the difference between playful contact
to
an extent.
Yeah.
Like,
no, he does like fight with him.
Yeah.
But like,
he's never bit anybody. Like he does a play bite,
Like
so.
you would know, like if he does not like you, like if he thinks he's like defending his home. When Longhorn, the first time he came here to do a tattoo for me,
right?
LaRue didn't know him, and like he like followed us up the stairs, like he like was just like growling, like highly aggressive and stuff, and like I had to pick him up and try and bring him downstairs, and he bit me.
Holy cow.
And shit, and I'm like, you little son of a bitch.
Was that his way of like,
what the fuck you doing? Yeah.
His doggy adrenaline must have been high.
So
could have been.
All right, everyone say their goodbyes and
bye.
Peace out.
That was so gay.
Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite.
I'm hungry as fuck.
Soon.
It's too late for this shit.
Yeah. Oh, well, thanks for hanging out till midnight, Susan. So appreciate it.
Sue, I've been sending you tons of funny, laughable stuff.
Dick pics.
That's
why I don't open shit.
Has nothing to do with a third away.
Something you need to understand about me.
Oh boy.
Something that a lot of people need to understand about me. I may seem like a nice person, but I am a fucking asshole.
Yeah, it's true.
And I don't like to be bothered by people.
Especially
I can relate to that.
Especially 14-year-olds.
I mean, not wanting to be bothered by people.
Doodly noted.
Okay,
Doodly.
I didn't say I don't love him.
I'm an asshole.
I didn't say that I don't love Christian. What I'm saying is, a girl needs her fucking privacy.
Got it tonight, so.
I do, and Dean will be in, like, good use.
I'll be snoring next to Salena. So.
That's one of the reasons I send funny videos. No, not dick pics, Chris. Funny videos, hey, get a good laugh in before you and Dean have some quality time.
If I send dick pics, I need the fuck camera be on Zoom. I need a magnifying glass.
Wow. Wow, bro.
Anyway.
No comment.
Okay, stop recording
she knows
already.
It's true.
No, it's not true. I just have no comment.
So
good night, everyone.
as always, hey.
Yes, good night, everyone. I'm about to take this last sip. Good night, everyone.
Shit is
Good
free.
night.
Shit's free. Pay your bills. Have fun.
I love you.
Take care of your kids, and
we don't want your money.
Don't
like,
need
this is
spend your
Salena
money on
Edwards.
something better.
don't need your what?
Selena
This is
Edwards.
Salena Edwards.
Oh,
Peace
we'll talk about that
out.
next time. Like we're officially a couple now, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, officially because he like is still in high school. I mean, no, never
Like
mind.
it's
Just forget it.
Facebook official
Y'all don't just sound
now, y'all.
by that.
Mark Zuckerberg made it official, so that means like we're basically married.
Yeah.
Selena, y'all don't just sound like a outstanding couple when you put that together, but you sound like you own like your own firm business. Hi, my name is Dr. Selena Edwards. Can I help you?
I like the last name Edwards.
It's funny
Selena
'cause
Edwards actually does sound nice. I like my last name.
I like the fact
so.
we put that on Facebook. Yeah, Facebook. Chris is in a relationship with Selena.
Hey,
I'm
at
in the
least you
buy,
don't
Miss
have-
Edwards.
Selena, think about it. If you and Chris ever did get married, you wouldn't have to change like the first initial of your last name.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Well, the thing is, my last name is really Chandy. It starts with a C. But my grandmother was illiterate. Like, she couldn't read or write in English.
Yeah.
Every time she
Okay.
had one of my aunts, uncles, or my dad,
Right.
a different nurse was writing the Chandy last name. And so all my dad got Chandy. That's all he got.
I just love the fact
But,
she's
yeah.
like, you're a fucking 16-year-old. I'm like, I'm a 16-year-old girl. I'm a young woman at heart. Like, so, it meant a lot to me.
Oh my god. Sorry, it just reminds me of the first time I talked to you and stuff, and you were giving me this huge spiel about how, like, you know, you always wanted a girl, and you do poetry and stuff, and you listen to NSYNC, and you like singing to girls, and I remember like, oh, Chris, will you be my wife?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I sent her the application. And she loved it. So.
Oh my god.
All right, let's get her and have fun, guys, and good night.